Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 203. We have Rich from Review Tech USA as our guest tonight. How you doing, Rich?
What's up, everybody? How are you? Thank you.
Good to have you on, Rich. Good to have you back on. We're trying to link back up for an episode, and it worked out pretty well this week. So good to have you on. Talk about all kinds of cool stuff, like talk about the Nintendo Direct that just happened. Talk about Diablo 2. That's making a big return, which is cool. And we'll talk about Skyward Sword because that was like the biggest controversy. Just interesting, but we'll go over that anyway.
Calm down, Click.
Tonight.
I'm calm.
Let's see who do we got here tonight. We have Nate. Nate the Hate. How you doing, Nate?
Damn it! I just fell off the course.
Nate,
God, come on, bro.
Nate was trying to do a whole Mario Kart tournament. It was supposed to be the last one that got intro, so he got it first.
Last race, we were tied 37 points each. Three of us tied in first, 37 points. And now I'm not gonna finish in first.
Y'all need to don't be so hard on Johnny. He'll actually show his comedy because this dude's funny as hell, but he has to hold himself back because people are pretty judgmental over the internet.
You need to go ahead and text your friend and let him know what happened there, Nate.
I'm going to, and damn it, we were on Yoshi's course from the N64, so now I fell. That's not right. I needed a Sean intro of 20 minutes.
Sean, oh, there is Sean. Sean, how you doing tonight?
Not bad.
Good to have you on, Sean. You and your Knicks hat. Good to have you here.
Hey, we were supposed to play tonight, but San Antonio fucked all that up. Like San Antonio.
The Knicks are good, so now you're wearing that hat a lot now. I mean, you that hat been in the closet for a while, bro.
Playoff race, baby. Julius Randle, All-Star. Let's go.
When's that kind of a bandwagon to me, bro? I'm just saying.
I don't know when the next time they were supposed to play, but San Antonio had someone that violated COVID protocol. Oh, they play tomorrow. They play the Timberwolves at 7.
When's that Yankees hat coming back out?
It's not even baseball season.
I mean, we got spring training.
Spring training starting up. Pitchers and catchers have reported.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
It's the beginning of baseball season. That's underway.
There's some like hardcore baseball fans. That's like their favorite time, like spring training.
This is the time baseball it's starting up. Brett Gardner just got a 1-year, $4 million contract. He's coming back to the Yankees for one final season before he retires. Good things are happening.
Sports.
Jordan,
and the show's coming to the Xbox.
Doing good. Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, we're talking about those Pokemon cards and the McDonald's Happy Meals.
Yeah.
They're they're worth a lot apparently according to eBay.
They're not worth anything. Stop scalping McDonald's. Stop scalping cereals. Let you guys are weird with the Pokemon cards.
Let the kids have their cards.
Let the kids have the cards, man.
Like I said, they got one tonight and they destroyed it in 5 seconds. So
yeah, that was their card
as intended. Yes. Click, how you doing tonight? Miss Click's here.
Yeah, I'm doing great. You know, I've honestly had the best week of my life so far. So
yes, when the direct was going on, I figured you were having the time of your life. So
oh, dude, that was an absolute mess. Yeah, so many games that I adore have actually been announced this week. So very happy.
I saw you crying, young lady.
Dude, listen, I told people, and I'm glad I didn't. I told people if a certain game was going to get announced, I almost tweeted it, and I'm glad I didn't because I deleted the draft. I was like, I'll eat part of my shoe, and I was going to eat part of my sandal, and I'm glad that I did not tweet it because Skyward Sword ended up getting announced anyway.
Well, now you have to do it on here because we know about it.
Yeah, don't want to disappoint.
Here's the thing, though. At least you didn't tweet out that you would staple your balls to your leg like that one guy did for Shin Megami Tensei last year. So.
I don't have balls, so why would
he that's what I'm saying. Like, at least none of us did that. Because
I actually had a friend who did that before, but not for.
What?
Not because. Hold on. Like we were sitting around.
We're like 5 minutes in. This is great.
Just took a staple gun and decided to staple his nuts to himself.
Okay, we were sitting at this chick's house, and we were kind of out there. And yeah, he was just like, it was completely random. He was like, Sarah, do you have a stapler? And she was like, yeah. He's like, go get it. And so she went and got it, and then he just stapled his balls to his legs. But
why?
What is your out there?
Yeah, what was the end goal to this?
He was. I mean, he was a weird dude, and he ended up murdering someone, and he's in jail now. So
I'm shocked.
yeah, I'm not super surprised by it, but yeah,
Well,
Crazy Joe.
That escalated
Yeah,
quickly.
that crazy Joe.
How did you stapling your
And the
balls?
thing of it was, like,
Jail for life for
he was
murdering somebody.
killer.
He was legit crazy. Like, I remember one time because like Walmart was like, because I
You were
lived in a
hanging out
small
with him
town.
at a chick's house.
Well, no, like I was at Walmart and I just hear someone screaming in Walmart, and so I go and look like down the aisle, and like he's just like laying on the ground like screaming about something, and he had a fiance who was like the nicest, complete polar opposite chick, like very southern, well-mannered girl. She's like, Joe, you gotta get off the ground, Joe. Joe's like, ah, just like screaming on the ground. I'm like, I didn't even say hi or anything. I just kept walking.
So, Sean, how's that foot lotion working for you?
I don't really understand what I'm doing with
It's
it.
not foot lotion.
You
I
put
don't-
lotion on your foot. That's all you have to do. That's the
it's
only
body
rule.
lotion. You just put it on your whole body. It can put on your
When?
face. Huh?
When?
When you
When you can. What is
Yeah,
going
after
on
a
right
shower. Yeah, after a shower. Like usually twice a day would be good, but after a shower at minimum. Yeah.
Like on my arms and legs and
Body,
shit, or
your whole
what?
body, everywhere.
I can't
At
reach
the very
that.
least, like elbows, knees,
Yeah, elbows, knees, bottom of the feet, top of the feet, not in between.
not in between.
Face-
Yeah.
Yeah, face, in between your hands, like in between like the fingers.
now. What is this
Between
lotion
fingers.
for?
Moisturizer and help skin health.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't have
The
good
whole body
skin,
though.
I
Did
guess.
like she just put it in his bathtub and jump in?
Well, I take baths. Like I'll
yeah,
take.
it's awesome.
I fucking love baths. Like if I take a bath, I will sleep so much better than
You're
if
like
I
the
don't.
dude. You're like the dude from The Big Lebowski. Do you smoke a joint while you're in the tub?
No, I don't smoke in this place.
Hmm.
But in my old place that I used to live in that I didn't care about, yes, I used to smoke in there, and I would smoke all the time, taking a shit. That's like the most relaxing thing in the world. Anyway,
Okay, let's go over to OJ. Player S, how you doing today?
One of my
I'm
podcasts.
not doing good anymore after hearing Sean's stories. I was doing good. Now I'm not. But the Chappelle Show is on Netflix now, so now I'm feeling better. So it all comes back to full circle.
See, that's a positive. Okay,
It's positive.
very good.
Positive.
Very good.
The first episode's wild too, man. That could not happen in today's day. But anyway, I'm doing good.
And we have Evan.
Yep.
Evan, who finished up the all over print for the Spawncast 200. I saw you
All
post that
over
up on
prints.
Twitter.
Yep, they're finally up on Teespring. We got links on Twitter and whatnot. Yeah.
Linked in
yeah.
the description too. Yep, we got the link right down there in the description.
I'm gonna
The
click the
podcast on
link.
YouTube too. So yeah, those came out really nice. The all over prints for like the hoodie and everything.
I'm hoping they look good. I ordered a couple myself just because I want to see what they look like.
Ooh. Oh man,
Yeah.
the black and white one's good too, though.
That's the one that's going to be
Oh.
around forever. The color one's going to go away after 2 months. So,
yeah.
Very cool. Very good. Very good. So we had a couple of games. All right, so this is interesting because some of the games aren't out this week, but I feel like we've played all of the game. Wait, no, hold on. I don't know if we played Bravely Default 2 yet. I don't know if anyone played that yet because I didn't. But
Just like demo, yeah.
the demo, yeah, but I mean like the full game that dropped. Because I know
Oh,
that's I feel like people are obviously reviewing that now. But Ghosts and
Got a copy coming,
Goblins.
though.
I didn't play that.
Ghosts and Goblins.
I didn't get a
and
review code.
Looks like
sir.
a Flash game. I'm sorry.
Persona
I
5. Persona 5 Strikers is the other one. That
Almost done with that game.
that actually dropped on Friday. I picked up the early copy of it just to start playing it. So OJ is correct. It is not like just a Warriors game, how people were describing it, because it actually goes into RP like battles you would have in an RPG, and then it kind of goes a little bit of a Warrior style, but the battles end pretty quickly, and then you get experience, then you kind of move on.
Yeah.
So it is, you're right, it's set up more like a dungeon crawler with some Dynasty Warriors elements.
With some elements, yeah. So that's what kind of the game's set up, and it's a different type of game. I don't really consider a Warriors game, like I was saying. It's really different.
It's closer to a Persona game, I'd say, than a Dynasty Warriors, because it is a lot of story, just like you'd expect with Persona, and you just end up in these longer cutscenes and a lot of conversations. So
It also reminds me of Tales. I don't know if you guys play the Tales games, but there's there's some Tales elements kind of thrown in there at times too, like some of the structure and everything, like the long dialogue chains and stuff like that. You know, anime pop up, them talking for a while, whatever. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of that as well. Although Tales is kind of changing with the next Tales game, but the old school Tales games.
Arise, yeah, that'll be interesting when that drops. You get more information about that one. But the one thing with this is I'm playing it on the PS5 right now, and I don't know if they're ever going to do another version of it, because remember with Persona 5 we had to wait for Persona 5 Royal to get like the enhancements for 4K and all of this. I'm not sure if they're gonna do it for this. I'm hoping this gets like a patch for like next gen in some way, because it is noticeable when I'm playing it on the PS5 specifically, because you expect it to be a bit smoother. There's a lot of aliasing basically even on the PS5, and you're kind of looking at it, you're like, okay. That's the one thing that sticks out to me. Otherwise the game looks good, it runs perfect on the PlayStation 5, and I'm happy because it's more Persona than Dynasty Warriors, because Dynasty Warriors wears on me a bit after a while, but I was playing this, I think I played a solid 4 to 5 hours as soon as it dropped into like the morning, basically, and having a blast with it. So I am enjoying it quite a bit, and I'll be playing. I think it's a long game though, so
yeah, it's 50 something hours, and that's really if you kind of doing most of the stuff. If you want to like complete it 100%, probably a bit more than that. But yeah, it's really good. They did a great job with it.
Yeah, so I'll be playing more of it. It drops on Tuesday. It'll be out on the PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. Yes. Okay. Yep. So check it out if you're looking for a bit of a bunch of Persona with a little bit of Dynasty Warriors thrown in.
I still think though, John, that they could make a Persona, like a real Persona Warriors game, because like where you take all the characters from the Persona games and make an actual Warriors game, like I was trying to tell people about, like let's make like a real Warrior. I think they still might do that, where they like grab Persona 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then grab the 2 or 3.
They could do that. Yeah, absolutely, because they could because this isn't like so much Dynasty Warriors game where it feels like they would just do it all over again. This feels like its own kind of thing that leans more towards Persona. So yeah, they could do that. They could take all the Persona games, throw them together, as they'd come up with some video game reason for why they're all in the same place, you know?
Yeah. Persona Q's already done that a little bit, where you have some type of reason why Persona 3 character or Persona 4 characters or with Persona Joker shows up with like Persona 3 or 4 or whatever. So yeah, they'll figure out something, but they could still do that in the future. So
okay, and then we had Ghosts and Goblins. I played Ghosts and Goblins. Nate, did you play it?
No.
Okay.
It's not the Switch one.
Nate did not. Wait, hold on.
Is it out yet?
Max played it, but Max isn't here.
Yeah, I played it. It's out this week.
25th, I think.
Yep.
25th. Okay.
I'll buy it, but it looks like a Flash game.
Hold on a minute. Let me double check. Let me double check. What else? What else did everyone play? You guys can. I just got to double check my embargo details. I am allowed to do. I'm allowed to do preview for it, but I just got to make sure if there's a certain thing I'm not allowed to talk about. On. You go ahead, Sean.
I played a game that I didn't like, and so I'm playing it again, and that is Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh,
okay. The Xbox on Xbox Series X. No.
Yeah.
How is it?
I don't think there's really any enhancements done to it. Nothing that I really noticed.
It has like the auto HDR. It has like the auto HDR thrown in there, right? So it looks really good.
But is it 60?
Series X.
No, it's not 60. I didn't like the game originally because I did not like the Batmobile stuff. And like very early in the game, I quit and I was like, this is fucking stupid. And so I never went back to it and beat it. But I put about 6-7 hours into it over the past couple days. I still don't love the Batmobile stuff, and the fact that they just put it as such a prominent thing is really annoying. But it's, you know, it's still a good game. I just don't think it's as good as the original trilogy because of all the Batmobile shit. But you know, it's not bad. I'm liking it more than I initially liked it, but I just wish there was less Batmobile stuff.
The new game it's coming out. Gotham Knights?
Yes,
that's coming out. Is that this year for that game? Or is that
it's supposed to be this year? Yeah,
that game looks great. I hope that game's really good because I really love Batman Arkham City. That's my favorite one out of them. I've played and beat every single one of them.
It still have multiplayer too, so like we all play together technically online.
Well, I don't want to play with you guys, but I mean, like I think. No, I'm joking. If it's cool multiplayer, of course I'll play. But I've always liked the single player experience with those Batman games. It's always just been fun. Like you really feel like, to me, it's like the best superhero game. So that's why I was really interested to hear what Sean said about the Arkham City Arkham
Knight.
What is it? Arkham Knight. Yeah, there you go. I forget the name of it. I can't stand that Batmobile crap either, man.
It was on Game Pass, wasn't it? You just saw it and you downloaded it. Yeah.
I've had it for a while actually, and I just decided to finally check it out.
It took away from like the exploration of like the actual like going around. It just felt like you're just driving the whole time, you know? Like
Okay,
No.
I am allowed to talk about Ghosts and Goblins. I just had to double check. I just can't stream it. Yes. Okay, Ghosts and Goblins I think is pretty good.
Okay.
Surprisingly good for a lot of people.
Which would you compare it to? People I've talked to who are reviewing the game say it's closer to the arcade original than it is the NES, Super NES games.
I'd say so. Yeah. The movement's the movement takes a little bit getting used to because there is this loss of momentum when you're jumping.
Yep.
So when you're running and jumping, you're going to find yourself fall like a rock, even without like your armor. I noticed that like I still plummet to the ground. So it feels like you're going to be able to jump further than you really will half the time. But it is one of those games where you're going to die a lot. However, they have pretty forgiving checkpoint system set up. I think it's depending on the difficulty you pick. But if you pick like the not insane difficulty or something, you have a fair amount of checkpoints to where yes, you'll die, but it sends you back like a screen or two basically. Or if you're fighting a boss, the bosses have multiple stages. All right, so you kind of it's a situation where you learn the boss and then I don't want to say it's Dark Souls, but it's basically, Dark Souls as you would expect from this game. The art style is actually not bad. It translates pretty well on the Switch to the like big screen. So it looks clean enough. I haven't noticed any real frame rate slowdowns. There was one level that is in. Okay, I can talk about that. In the second area you go to, it's kind of like fire related, and I noticed when there was a lot like this flamethrower effect going that I noticed it very briefly. Otherwise, though, it's you're not going to die because frame rate issues with it. And it does have like a skill tree. Like there's a little tree that you go to that you buy skills from, but as you're doing that, you get different abilities in the game that you can use. Like you can actually summon like lightning, so you have like a screen clearing effect. You can turn people into frogs. You can put barriers around your character, and in order to get the skill points you have to find them in levels, and a lot of times it's the harder path that you might have to go through to get them. Nice. So there is an actual progression system in it. I don't know how long it is because I've played 4 of them so far.
Well, there's branching paths and stuff too, isn't there?
Yep. So but then you can go back and go to the level you didn't do. So you don't necessarily get stuck in one path. You can go back and then go. Like I decided to go back one so I can get some of the skill points in that before I go to the even harder one. So it's there's a bunch of weapons and stuff you change on the fly as you find them. So you might have the javelin, but then you might have daggers that throw faster, or little boulders that you throw that roll on the ground. So I think people who are fans of the series are going to have a good time with Ghosts and Goblins. I don't know what's the price on it. Is it 30?
30, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's 30. Yeah,
29,
right? Yeah.
I think that's fair. The art style might be weird for people at first, but after a little while, I just stopped noticing it.
But it looks, the art style is very similar to Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins from the PlayStation Portable.
Yes. Yeah, it's just now we're blown up on a big screen. So
yeah, now it's HD'd and all that. So
it might just prove it, but I will say this: it's really cool when you start it up because you get the RE Engine effect. So you got like the hand and stuff, and it's like RE Engine. It's like, oh yeah, they got that over to the Switch. That's right.
That game is the first officially released RE Engine on Switch.
And I'll tell you, it runs well. So there you go.
It shows kind of the versatility of the engine too, to be able to make that style of game, then to go from that to Monster Hunter. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna get the game too. I just haven't. Capcom is just they're good. I gotta stream it when it launches, so I'll be playing it when it launches.
Yes. So I think those are 2. Like I said, I haven't played Bravely Default 2 yet, but I will be picking that up this week to check out. Excited for that. Any other games anyone wants to talk about before we go to the Direct? Because I have a whole list of stuff for the Direct, and there were a lot of games announced in the Direct, and I think that's going to take a large chunk of time to get through.
I assume that if we talk about a demo from the Direct, we're just leaving that for the Direct and not what we played.
I was going to leave that for the Direct because it's one of the things I have here as we go through. I know you're talking about
Project Triangle Strategy.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll do that. Any other games anyone wanted to touch on before we jump into Direct and Super Chats and all that good stuff?
Yeah, no, I was going to say I got to play the Capcom Stadium, the arcade.
I watched you play it. Click. It was fun.
I did play that too. They sent a code with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Guess my codes got lost in the mail. Thanks, Capcom. Fuckers.
What is that?
No, it was really fun. It kind of reminds me of like one of my favorite games because my parents they loved taking me to the arcade, but like I grew up on Namco, so I'd never really get to try much Capcom. I played Street Fighter at a friend's house. I just never told my mom because she didn't like fighting games. So it was cool like getting to go back and like play that as like my first video game I'd really ever got to try that my parents didn't know about other than arcade cabinets. And I remember like when my parents figured out they had a Namco collection on the GameCube, that's when my parents decided, oh, we're just going to get the console so we don't have to pay quarters anymore and we can just play the games unlimited. So it was like really cool to kind of have like that arcade collection again. But this time with Capcom and like get to visit games that I hadn't got to play before. And it was really, really cool. A lot of different collections in there, obviously the different packs that you can buy. But yeah, I was playing the original Ghosts and Goblins today, and it was tough at certain times. But I do like the fact that they add in obviously like the rewind feature and stuff like that. It allows you to learn in a different way than you would other than just like dying over and over. So it's cool for like quick on the fly of like, oh, I made that mistake, rewind 2 seconds, and then it's kind of like you feel like Shulk from Xenoblade, like seeing into the future and avoiding.
They have it set up so that you go in into an arcade basically, and they have all the cabinets set up, and there's a button to put the coin in, and it shows the animation of putting the coin in. I played a bit of Strider, and I was like, yeah, this is fun, and you can have views. Strider. Yeah, it's on the. I think it's just a free download, and then you buy the game separately. I think.
You
get like a base pack.
Ghosts and Goblins. They give you like Ghosts and Goblins. I bought it, so they give you like Ghosts and Goblins, and for $39.99 you could buy a bunch of games you probably bought 67 times from them. But it's still a good package, though. It's
cool because like you can kind of look at the arcade cabinet while you're playing, so it tries to mimic the idea of you being in the arcade, because that's where we are nowadays. Obviously, it's like it's virtual now. So, but it's it's not a bad collection for people who missed out on it. There are some quality games thrown in there. But Evan, how many Discord questions we got over there? We got a few, don't we?
Yeah, a good bit. Do you think the 360 or PS3 will ever become collectible?
Everything becomes collectible at some point.
You know what's interesting? The 360, if you look up the 360 Slim right now, it's getting harder to find. Like I noticed this because GameStop doesn't sell them anymore. Yeah. And the other day, so I got a whole thing to like modify a 360 because I want to play GoldenEye on the actual hardware. And I was talking to MVG. I was like, hey, these 360 Slims are kind of hard to find right now. And I went on eBay and they're over $100 on there. So they dropped down at one point to like $60 or $70. Now they're back up over 100. So I think the PS3, the original fat model PS3s, the ones that are backwards compatible, those are just immediately collectible. But like the 360 Slim might be.
Yeah, the original PS3 is definitely, not definitely, but pretty damn close to collectible.
Yeah.
Especially if it's backwards compat.
What's another Discord question we got there, Evan?
This guy wants me to read this exactly. Do you think gamers' long-standing tendency to focus on improvements to polygon and pixel count detracts from more prominent recent improvements like lighting, load times, and improvements to CPUs?
Interesting. So like just the overall visual fidelity that we see when we look at like the character models and all this stuff is ways like, okay, I see what you're saying. I mean,
it kind of depends. It depends on what, because some people appreciate different things more so than other people. And so you can't really, I don't think it's a blanket statement thing. Like some people want things like better lighting effects and better shadow effects and better contrast. Some people want things like higher resolution textures and faster frame rates. So I don't think there's really like a single answer to it.
Let's go to some of the super chats here. This is from Joven saying, big shout out to Sean for not screwing up this week.
Hey, we'll get things right once in a while.
Liam says, did you hear about the new Soulja Boy console? I did. I'm excited for Christmas in March.
I'm actually beta testing it with him.
Ghost Sniper says the Conquer Obsidian rumor on the Gaming Leak rumor sub, or I guess on Reddit. I did not see that. Maybe I'll check that out for entertainment's sake. Dragoon says, what would it take to see Sean play DC's Superhero Girls when it releases?
I don't even think the game looks terrible. Like I just wish I wish it was. Is that misogynist to say that I wish it was not little girls? Like I just think that's normal.
Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like I wish it was.
Yeah. I think that's misogyny. Actually, I do.
Fuck off. No, I wish I had like normal DC characters.
Hold on.
No, girls can have their shit.
Click.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead before I get to them. Go ahead, Click.
Personally,
listen, I'm just gonna say I grew up loving like, you know, team action, like you're squatting up with like a whole bunch of different superheroes going through courses. Shut up. I swear if you laugh at me while I'm telling you this, like I loved games like X-Men and stuff like that, but they only had like 2, 3 female characters, maybe 4, and it was like even a bonus if you play with all 4 female characters at the same time. Like I think it's cool that there's a game aimed for kids where normally it's like Spider-Man and Hulk and Thor and Captain America. Like let there be one game where there's just girls. Now, do I wish they were like different superheroes and not all just like, oh, girl Superman, girl or girl Superwoman, like freaking girls like Spider-Woman. I don't know. Just let them be. Let it be, okay? Because I know if I was younger, my sisters and I would have loved it. My parents would have loved it.
You know it's based on a TV show, right?
No,
yeah, I know about it.
It's like one of the most popular shows amongst kids right now.
I'm just talking from a selfish perspective. I understand that there's going to be a market for that, and I understand why Nintendo released that and why they put it in the Direct, because video games are for everyone. Just from a selfish standpoint, I would have liked it to be.
You just want to be Teen Titans.
No, I don't watch that shit either. Just fucking give me normal.
Teen Titans Go
Wow.
or Teen Titans. Which one?
You just want Justice League.
So you just want a completely different game altogether.
Yeah.
Specifically catered to me and only me.
God, you sound like Twitter right now.
But at least I can
want a
admit
game
it.
with
Oh,
superheroes
Sean,
that I
Sean.
like.
Sean, you bought the Avengers then.
Fuck no.
That's what you just described, though.
Yeah, but I don't really get down with Marvel like that. Like
Okay.
I was watching WandaVision. I didn't know who the dude and the chick were. Like I just
that's a good show too.
It's like new characters and shit. I gotta watch the new one. I haven't watched the one that came out last night.
How are you following it along if you haven't seen anything? I don't understand that.
Because I'm just taking them as new characters.
There's so much you don't understand. It's like irritating me.
And there's that cute chick.
Great.
Kinda,
You're doing is that a fantastic review, Sean.
yeah. 8 out of 10. Great show.
Cody says, "Do you think it will be hard to find the Zelda Joy-Cons? Can't seem to pre-order on
Yes.
Best Buy or GameStop." Yeah,
It already
it's
is.
gonna be tough. Yeah, Cody. I got my pre-order at Best Buy.
Ugh, jealous.
I'm waiting for Amazon.
They're beautiful.
And on Best Buy. They were
nice
sold up
looking.
like a little bit later. Like they were sold up pretty quickly.
They didn't even have a
How do you
picture
know
up on the
when they
website. They, yeah, it wasn't even like it basically went up, and they didn't even have a picture up on the website. I was like, I'm taking a
Yeah.
chance on this.
They pulled
I'm just going for it.
They kind of pulled a PlayStation 5 event, remember? With the whole pre-orders where people didn't know when they were going to, like, the pre-orders were going to go live. Because, like, everyone thought that, oh, they're going to go live later. All of a sudden, oh, they're here. What? Wait.
Wario 64 came through. Okay.
Yeah, he did. That's where I got the link.
Black John says, "What's the platform of choice for the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection?"
Switch portability.
It's a good question because then you're playing Ninja Gaiden with the Joy-Cons.
No, you're not. You play with a pro controller like a man.
Wait, hold up.
Oh, how do you do it?
Hold
Why
on.
do you sound like Steve Brule?
Use this thing, the Fixture S1.
What
Oh
the?
my-
Where'd you get that from, man? I want one of those.
From Fixture.
Is
Send
it
him
on
an email.
Amazon?
He's a good dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you details about him after the show.
Yeah,
Probably-
yeah.
you probably do
Cool.
Look at this. Look at this. This is the future. This is
Oh,
how I
very
play
cool.
my Switch. It's the best thing in the
That's how
fucking.
you play in the smartphone, but I want one.
It's so good, and it's got different adjustability options. You can make it so that it covers your hands and it's out here, or you can do it so it's like up top. It's
That's
really
cool.
absolutely.
seems-
fun.
Did you make a video on that?
You should.
I did a sponsor spot for it
It
actually.
goes up and
And
down. That's pretty crazy.
It's all over the place.
For like NFL season, I bet that's really good for something like when you're just chilling, like watching.
No,
TV.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just laying in bed, just
Yeah, I want one.
Tijo says,
Yeah,
"If
me
you
too.
somehow thought Pyra and Smash was disappointing, then you're wrong." Looking at you, RGT.
I didn't.
Sean's not a Xenoblade person.
I'm not. I would have liked a third party character. We have enough Nintendo related characters, in my opinion. If you think differently, that's awesome. And I am.
You got enough Nintendo related characters in a Nintendo first party game? What?
I don't. One. You know me. I don't really play Smash, and nor do I really play the Xenoblade games. I just like saying the word Monado. But I did get emotional when these characters got announced. So I thought it was nice that they were in there. I thought it was
How
pretty
many
Finally.
characters are in Smash?
80?
80 to
80
90
plus.
now.
Right.
Isn't it like 80 something? Yeah. something like
You know,
that.
we just saw Sephiroth and we got Steve.
Mhm.
So there were
That's kind of
two big third-party characters in a row. So I mean, I think it's okay to add.
I feel like the hype level, because we just had Steve and Sephiroth and they just broke the internet, and people are like, they expected to, what's the next? Is it Master Chief? Is it like Sora? Like, it's got to keep going up, and it's like,
But if you watch my videos, you know that they were alternating between them. I knew they were all, if you watched.
I mean, they're gonna have to pad it somehow to kind of like, I guess, soften the blow, I guess you could say. But also, we have to realize like these are also games that Sakurai like also likes too. And the fact if he's gonna get a chance of being like, hey, I like this character, are we good with this? Are we not good with this? He talked about how much he liked Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And it makes sense. He also enjoyed Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like, and obviously Nintendo wants those games in, or wants those characters and representation in. But a lot of people are also forgetting like this is genuinely like he's putting work into these characters because he enjoyed the games thoroughly too, and he did his due diligence and research into these games to make sure their kits were accurate. And I am a little sad that it's not like a dual wield kind of like I would hope. I still think Acura would be really, really cool. I think people would just be pissed about it at this point. I was kind of hoping that somehow you could have like the two character, like Rex and Pyra. But I'm glad that, Pyra can switch in between with Mithra.
Then we have Jalen says, let's be real here. The only Nintendo Switch first party game that isn't worth $60 is, all right, Nate, get ready for this one.
I saw that.
Country Tropical Freeze.
It's new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe.
I was about to say that one. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is not worth it. But
Yeah,
it
Donkey
didn't
Kong
have
Tropical
bumpy
Freeze, only one of the greatest 2D platformers of
it
all
is a
time.
good 2D platformer. It is very good. And Henry says, anybody play Guilty Gear Strive beta? I did not, and I don't know if anyone else did because I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Evan would have been the one who probably would have tried it.
I haven't tried it
watched a ton of it, and
specifically.
it's
I'm just
awesome.
waiting for a release. I'm probably gonna pick it up on release day though.
Yeah, it's hitting Steam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, what do you think? Your video card DLSS on there gonna play I think 144 straight up?
I'll see. I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Ethan R then asked, Rich, can I massage your head?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go through the direct. We had a direct.
What?
It was
What?
50 minutes long. 50 minutes, 22 games about announced. So we already touched on Pyra and Mithra joining Smash. That's March. So I'll keep it on OJ's channel because I'm sure he'll do all the coverage for that I need to watch.
I haven't really done. I just did a reaction to it.
But when they drop, you'll be there like day one. Doing all the stuff in the.
Oh yeah. That's my new. It's 100% my new main. I'm a huge Xeno fan, so 100% new main. Joker's got to move aside. Violet's got to move aside. All of them got to move aside. And Pyra, Mithra, definitely Mithra more than Pyra. So yeah.
There we go. So keep it on OJ. He'll keep us up to date on all that. Then we have Sean's new obsession, the Summer Fall Guys.
Nope.
And
Ain't happening.
Yeah, right. Dude, Sean's gonna be playing this one.
Nope.
You sure?
I'm 100% sure. I have no interest in it.
I call bullshit.
I'm not.
Second it proves profitable, switch coverage, and you will jump on the train.
I was wrong
the
about
thing is-
Fall Guys.
You can't even like review it. Like, what do you do? What do
If
you,
it's a
how do you
disaster on the
know,
Switch,
Sean, man,
let's
your faces
support
are getting
them.
more
That
intense.
Okay.
Online doesn't work. You're not going to make a video. You're not going to buy the
Yeah.
game to see how bad it is.
Yeah, I mean, I will that, but that doesn't mean I'm going to play it. I could
Then you
buy.
get
Do
hooked.
you not know that I have a
And you
table
get hooked.
in my kitchen of shit that I've bought and never played? I haven't even opened it. Lots of it is sealed. I don't know why.
Looks like a gamer to me.
I think Fall
It's
Guys
like-
digital though. You don't want it on the table.
Well, I'm just saying. I sometimes I buy shit and then I never play it.
Yeah.
Then we had Outer Wilds, or as most people call it, Outer Worlds for some reason.
It's very confusing.
Everyone calls
Yeah.
it. The problem is that came out right around the time of Outer Worlds. So
Yep, pretty much
remember-
in quarter.
I think that hit Game Pass day one because I remember downloading it as soon as it released. I was like, this game's actually pretty cool. And everyone just kept talking about Outer Worlds. And if anyone tried to talk about this game, they called it Outer Worlds by accident. But that's a good move for the Switch. That's a good game for that. Famicom Detective Club. I have no idea what the game is. From what I tell, it was localized here to the US for the first time.
Looks amazing. Looks
Art style
incredible.
looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a visual novel style game. Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, so that's not something I'm gonna play.
Yeah, I tuned out at that part. Not gonna lie.
I'm not a big visual novel person, but for people who are, the animation looked cool. That's the thing that caught me by surprise is when they started doing that. I was like, oh, okay, that actually looks pretty good. Samurai Warriors 5. Apparently, there's 5 of them.
There's a million Samurai Warriors, Dynasty Warriors. There's a million of those damn games.
Is there more than 5? Like, there's like a billion of those fucking.
I remember seeing Samurai Warriors way back when. For some reason, I remember this at GameStop when I was working there. We were stocking the shelves and it was on the PS2. That's just
wasn't like the third one like a 3DS launch title.
There was the third one came out on the Wii, I think.
There was one that was a launch title on like the 3DS. I remember.
Yeah, 3DS had one.
No,
that was a launch title.
That was a Dynasty Warriors, I believe.
No, there's a Samurai Warriors.
You
There's a
mother-
Samurai Warriors.
All right, we're gonna look it up. Samurai Warriors 3DS.
Damn, Sean's about to get bodied.
Chronicles. Ooh, Samurai Warrior.
Still a Samurai Warriors.
It's a Samurai Warriors.
Then we have Legend of Mana. Okay.
That one looks good.
Mana.
It does look pretty.
Isn't it?
I want to play that because I thought it was the DS game and it wasn't. I never played that.
I'm over the age of 30. I call it Mana.
Mana.
So
Monado.
then we have the game of the show. That would be Mario Golf Super Rush.
No, I'm excited for it.
It looks fun. It has the RPG mode finally. Hopefully, it's as fleshed out as the Game Boy Color original. And speed golf could be fun. We could. That's what Sean pushed out on the golf course.
I'm here for it. Mario Golf looks awesome. Although I do like playing golf games in general. So obviously, I see this and I'm like, wow, I haven't played Mario Golf since yesterday when I played it on the GameCube. So I'm excited.
So,
I'm actually looking forward to that. Was like the most exciting game out of the whole thing to me.
It was really weird because I had been playing the GameCube because I had a little SD loader and I was going through games. I was playing Mario Golf for like an hour and then like the next day we're doing the direct and it's like Mario Golf, but that was rumored and kind of expected, to be honest.
Does this mean that soccer's next?
No,
no.
No, seriously, you know what this means?
Oh, they could.
Based off of the rumor with this game, it also means that potentially Golden Sun could be coming back. And I'm not just saying that just to say
you're getting people's hopes up right now.
I'm just legit.
I'm out here talking about sports.
No, they said that they're gonna do the rumor specifically says that Mario Golf is coming soon and that Golden Sun they're gonna be working on that, but it's a little bit later. I'm just saying
that'd be a good
if it goes based off the rumor.
But in terms of what next Mario specific sports,
I'm just saying Camelot, they're the guys who make Mario Golf, so that's the next. That was the rumor. That was the rumor.
But I'm asking if we're getting soccer next.
No,
I mean I would like to because
Golden Sun's great, but I'll take hoops 3-on-3 again.
What do you, Rich? You're getting Mario Golf?
Yes, I am going to get Mario Golf, and I'll get the Ninja Gaiden trilogy and die a lot and get frustrated, but I'll still buy it anyway.
Yeah, Mario Golf looks good. They got the speed golf.
Yeah,
that looks absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how well that'll go, but
I think there's more modes too.
Oh, I'm sure.
That kind of plays into something that we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
But you got to like 2 of the bigger games were June and July, and when you really look at it, they left a lot of things open with those games. We'll get into that.
I almost wonder if they're going to have like a little, because they do these live stream things where they'll do the treehouse for different games now. I almost wonder if Mario Golf could get one of those where they just go over some of the stuff.
I
hope the motion controls are as good as they looked.
Yeah.
Because when motion controls are done right, I absolutely love them. But 99% of the time they're not, or 95, I should say.
So back in the day, the most popular system that people would come in and buy Tiger Woods for was on the Wii. Yeah. People absolutely loved it on the Wii, and
we used to play it at my shitty apartment all the time.
It was everyone. It wasn't even just like like teenagers or kids, whoever come in, like adults and grandparents would come in and buy Tiger Woods on their new Wii because it was like this cool golfing motion thing. And Tiger Woods games were awesome anyway, because if you hit the ball just right and it was getting it close to the cup, they would do that whole thing where it gets super dramatic and it goes to like 16:9 widescreen and it like zooms in your character and goes like slow motion. But like the motion controls really sold it for a lot of people. And like, I feel like we sold more copies on the Wii compared to the PS3 or Xbox 360, like almost 2-to-1. So, I mean,
I'm sorry. When motion controls are done right, they're so much fun, and a game like golf is perfect for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially the Joy-Con should be much better than even the Wii remote then in that regard too. So I actually might try that just to see how it is. But then the story mode, Nate, you pointed out, is the big thing. The RPG elements added into it, like the Game Boy game. I've been talking about this for years now, and they're finally bringing it to the console version. Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
Yep, good job.
Yeah,
Informative.
they are. No, I thought that was a statement. Like, yeah, they're bringing it. Yes, they
I
are.
was walking you into the conversation, man. I'm bringing you in because you're the
Yeah.
first one who brought up story mode earlier.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the selling point of the game is going to be the RPG mode. If that mode isn't fully fleshed out, then we just have another
Mario Tennis.
Mario Golf game. This is going to be
Mario
the game that sets it, for an eagle, a hole in one. If RPG mode is everything that we hope it to be, if it matches the Game Boy Color RPG mode, you have a winner on our hands. Hopefully, they did flesh it out fully, and we don't get some half-assed version of it.
Mario
But I'm hopeful.
Yes.
Yeah, like Mario Tennis, where
Mario
it was
Tennis,
just
The
look,
single
we
player.
almost went there. Then we were kind of like, nah, we're gonna stop at
They were
satisfactory
close.
effort.
They had the different rackets. You would level up and all this stuff, but then they stopped short of like going the full like stat points and going back through it to completely level everything out. And they just came up short for that. So I'm hoping Mario Golf they go like completely.
It looks like they want to go completely. Even the way they introduced it, like, oh yeah, we have story mode complete with skill sets and experience points. Like, okay, you learned. Thank you. So I'm hopeful for it right now.
I'm excited. Then Tales from the Borderlands and Capcom. Yeah.
I'm just happy to see that game is available again to purchase. That's the big news about that game.
Oh, true.
They took it away and now it's just back, which is great.
That's a good point. That's a good
I think
point.
that's awesome. It's a great game.
Capcom Arcade Stadium. We talked about that earlier. Let's click. Stubbs the Zombie.
Yes. Yes.
Hey,
That was
at least
the original Xbox, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
The original
this
Xbox
was-
exclusive.
and it was the Halo. It's the Halo engine, so a
There
little bit
you
of
go.
Halo is now on the Switch.
Master Chief can come into Smash now. The Halo engine's on
It's
the
like
Switch.
$80 on the original Xbox nowadays, too.
Is it that expensive? I have that
Yeah.
game just sitting upstairs in the attic. I did not know it was that expensive. It was.
Why
It's
is it
kinda-
80?
well, it came out in 2005, so it's technically like one of the last real games that got pushed onto the original Xbox. So it might be semi-rare because of that. And it was never backwards compatible, to my knowledge. So you can only play it on the original Xbox.
Wait, it's gonna.
Oh,
be
now everyone
$60,
can
Some people are saying.
Try it.
I don't know how much is Stubbs. That's a good question. I'm not sure. They have a full
Oh
special.
no, if it is. Oh no.
They have a full special edition that
Okay.
comes with like a little like I think plushie or something. I don't know. They have a whole special
Do
edition.
they? I thought it was just a digital.
No,
Digitally,
They
it's
have a
$20.
thing. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, that's fair.
Worth
It's
every
a
penny.
Spire. Spire's doing it, so that makes sense for that. But that's a cool game. People should check
Yeah.
that one out.
Speaking of Aspire, you know what
Uh-huh.
game Aspire did that nobody talks about?
What's that?
Yes, I do.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
I think so.
Fighting Fantasy, the Warlock of Fire
Get out.
Top Mountain for the Nintendo DS. Aspire made that game. If you're gonna put Aspire in good rankings, you need to play that game. It's awesome.
And then we have No More Heroes 3. It's coming out this year, a little later than I thought, because it was supposed to come out last year. So August 27th, though.
Very excited. Did you guys see how crazy the game looks from boss battle to boss battle?
It looks great.
It looks
Yeah,
like it changes a lot of
Okay, so the game itself looks really interesting because it's all over the place, but is something wrong with the game? Is it just me that noticed this when I'm watching and I'm like,
How it
kind of
looks?
blurry.
something looks kind of off
Yeah,
with the game, and I don't know if that's because it's Unreal Engine and like the resolution has to be a certain like it has to be lower.
Yeah, I was.
It looks
I
there's
was
a lot of
noticing that.
alien- It was really weird. I mean,
Yeah.
like I get the art style and all this stuff, and it looks colorful and all over the place. And I'm like,
But it's
very
ugly.
original. Something just like I don't know if it
I
was
think they're mimicking the Wii looks, honestly. They're
it
trying to-
threw me off a little bit because everything else I'm like, oh, okay, this looks good. It's like the full. It's not gonna be Travis Strikes Again all over again, Sean, with that.
Thank
It looks
God.
like the full No More Heroes experience, but someone's just throwing me with that. I'm like, did they show us the handheld footage like blown up, or I don't know? It looked kind of strange.
Yeah, something about it looked off. Like, it's either low resolution, something about it just wasn't quite there. And I mean, the game's coming out in 6 months. That's a lot of time.
What
They can still polish this thing off.
Yeah.
So-
So that's what I'm thinking too. It's got half a year. I mean, we could have seen early.
Yeah.
That could have been earlier footage, even for all we know. So
Yeah, we don't know when the
yeah.
trailer was compiled. So
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
excited
wait.
regardless.
So excited
Yeah.
to play it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've played
So I
I've played
play
some
it.
pretty low resolution games in my time, so I'm still excited to play it. But Then we had Neon White Winter, which was interesting, or that's Winter 2020. I'm sorry, Neon White. That was that's the card-based Mirror's Edge looking game.
Yeah, card-based first-person demon and heaven-killing shooting game.
Is it a roguelike then?
It's like a speedrunner game.
It's weird. I feel like it had like several elements. It had like the rogue element with like, all right, everything's changing. Use this, use that. You're moving fast. I don't know. I thought it looked cool. I don't know if cool enough to get me sold on it, but it looked cool.
DC Superhero Girls Teen Power. We talked about that one.
Sean's waiting for it.
There was Sean, yeah.
Day one buy for me.
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. That's going out in March. That's the debut of the Frostbite engine on the Switch. There you go. Which means, Sean, there you go. Madden's on the way.
I wish.
Madden on Switch? Why? Why?
They got Frostbite.
Why
They got
not?
Frostbite on there.
Because why not? We need a portable football game.
No, we don't.
Mutant League football is fun, but I want a
EA,
proper.
no, we don't. EA says
we're about to have a portable baseball game. Let's get the a good baseball game. Not
no, RBI baseball looks all right this year.
Let's not go that far.
It
doesn't have
better.
Doesn't have road.
It'll be better than last year's, but it's still not going to be that good.
It's not gonna be the show.
Terrible. No, the show doesn't come out till next year. I don't.
Nah. Well, I mean, it's gonna come out this year.
Not on the Switch.
Just grab it on your Xbox or PlayStation.
We're talking about portability.
Where are you going?
I was gonna say
bathroom, outside,
smoke a cigarette.
Just tape a screen on your PlayStation 5 and just
there
take that.
Use that. Use that clip, Sean. Just get the TV on. Metopia. That's May 21st.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna jump all over that one.
I didn't really play that on the 3D.
Is that the Grezzo game?
Grezzo's working on the new
one. Involved. Yeah, it's the 3DS Super.
No, I'm saying, is that the medieval style game?
No.
Some people were saying it was, and I was like, ooh, if it is.
Yo, I heard that game's actually really good though. Like it's fun.
Metopia?
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun on the 3DS. I remember playing it a little bit, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess.
It's okay. It's not bad. It's just not super exciting.
Would it be a good introduction though for like the younger audience?
Oh yeah, probably younger audience. Yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be memorable
for a lot of older people. I feel like we need to be a little bit more objective and be like, oh, this would be good for younger players too. You know,
I think Nintendo wants everyone to play it though. I would think that it's kind of like from what I understand.
Every company, but obviously, what's going to be the main draw to the demographic?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a game that was kind of like in the whole 3DS era of like Street Pass and all that, you know?
Yeah, I know. I know a lot of older people that played that game. That was
Well,
so
we were younger then, though. When
I was still old. We were still in our 20s.
Still old. Okay, no.
I was still old.
We were still old.
Yeah,
OJ was friggin' like 40 back then.
I was. Well, when did Metopia come out? What year was it?
Oh God,
2015, I think.
Yeah, 2015. So I mean, you were what, 41?
Yeah, I was 41. So.
We had Super Mario items going to Animal Crossing.
I like the warp pipe.
The warp pipe's good.
So excited for that.
Are people just gonna make Super Mario levels in Animal Crossing now? Because it looks like they're going through the warp pipe, they're jumping on the flag, they were hitting question mark. I have a feeling people are gonna take out an entire island and just make
That'd be cool.
A whole Mario level. And Star Wars Hunters 2021 apparently. So this year, it's a third-person shooter from Zynga. Natural Motion made Backbreaker on the Xbox 360.
A good engine.
That was the football game where whenever you kicked off, they played "Here Comes the Boom" as
they put out a patch later that let you turn that off. I remember that.
That was the worst patch I've ever seen.
Was it the game that was like ragdoll, or like the guys would go like have like ragdoll crazy?
It was the Gears of War camera on everyone's shoulder, so you couldn't see anything else happening.
What is all this slander for that game? They were a small company trying to make a football game because we were stuck with only Madden.
Let me tell you,
you're
because
defending Zynga.
as someone who played football, that game does not right. You don't go flying like inflatable flail, man. Like when
we
how it works.
We had to test Xbox 360s back in the day. We were fixing them, and we had that game. We took it out of the drawer, we popped it in, and we realized that it played "Here Comes the Boom" every time he kicked off. And we were like, we're testing with this game for the rest of the week.
We had a nice sound system in back and a big screen TV. It was great.
So funny. So it just because if you let the computer play each other, it still does it. Every time they kick off, so it does that. So randomly throughout the day, you just hear "Here Comes the Boom" go on in the back. It was great. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Star Wars Hunter is a free-to-play third-person shooter from the mobile publisher Zynga, with a developer who has not made a console game in a decade. That'll be interesting.
Zynga. They made Farmville.
So now Star Wars
Farmville.
I mean, they also made Frontierville.
Oh.
Then we had Knockout City. That's from
That
EA.
game. That game better
game.
be.
Okay, everyone for a second saw the
actually looked
thing and was
okay.
like, oh wait, this is World of Warcraft for a second, right? Everyone
I legitimately thought it was
kinda
going to be
thought
World of
so.
Warcraft. I
For a
got so
second, I
excited
was
for no
like,
reason.
it has that art style, but this is some dodgeball game, I guess.
They
where you
better
throw the
price
ball
that
at
game
something.
It's a
accordingly.
dodge brawl game.
it
Dodge
appears to be-
brawl.
It appears to be $19.99.
Okay.
And
They're gonna
it's
have
on
a
all-
beta.
It's on all platforms.
They're gonna have a beta before it comes out. They said they're gonna have a few betas,
It's out
so
this
at least
week. I think they're doing a beta this week.
yeah, so at least we can play it to see if it's good. But this game is not gonna have an online community after about 2 weeks.
I
They
don't
better make it cheap.
I don't know how that's gonna work. That they would have to drop it and go free to play. I'm surprised it's not free to play.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like
Did
kind
that
of like
work
Valve.
for-
didn't
Well,
you
it's
make
like
that
a-
Rocket game?
Yeah, I was about to say they made that stupid fucking
Yeah.
Rocket game.
Where's that now?
Did it even come out?
I play it every day. I play it
It
every
came out.
day, man. What are you talking about?
What's the
It's a
name?
Rocket
What was the name of it?
What,
Exactly.
is it Rocket Arena or something?
Rocket Arena.
That sounds maybe right.
That game disappeared
yes.
quick.
Hey, Velen
Wow.
also made Mario Kart Live.
And
Give him some credit.
Okay.
We got to see Sean's messy floor due to that game.
Cigarette Alley.
So,
they put a camera on an RC car. Who would have thought?
I mean, even if it was free to play, I really think it would do well. Anyone remember Ninjala?
I was about to say.
I love
No. People still play it. The funny thing is that they still play it. People still like you can still get games and matches in there. It's not
Rocket Arena. Rocket Arena is down to $5 on the
Ooh.
PlayStation Store.
That feels like $5 too
Nice.
much. I feel like free. That's why I say you should go free to play, because there probably will be people who play it just because it's free and they're like, I'll try it. We'll see what happens. So
I mean, you'll have some base of community, but this game has a
Yeah.
lot going against it right now. And what do we say? It's going to be $20?
yes.
I mean, the beta has to really be impressive for people to say, all right, I'm giving my $20 to play this game all the time. That is dependent on this online community, because once that's done, well, that's the end of it. So they have to knock it out the park with this. And if it's fun, but I'm not going to come back to it. You know, something like Destruction Derby All-Stars over there.
Then we
I
have
just don't see the game lasting any time.
World's End Club.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
And Hades is getting a physical release. It was interesting that was one of their announcements here, because they feel really proud about this game, and it makes sense because it was nominated for Game of the Year technically, and
Yeah.
it's only on the Switch when it comes to consoles, and it has cross progression or cross save with
Oh, I
PC,
didn't know
so-
that. You can only get Hades on Switch minus
Yeah.
PC?
Yeah, it's just on the
Oh,
Switch
yeah.
and
Okay.
PC. So
Yeah.
Nintendo's like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and hold this one up here and show people it's physical now. Okay, so yeah, they're really behind that game, which is good because the game's good. So
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't
I'll play
think
it now.
I've played games in handheld as much as I have with Hades.
Mhm.
Like I think I've enjoyed playing handheld on my Switch. I mainly play docked just because of like what I do, but Hades is like I'll literally play it anywhere.
What
like
do you
I'll
do?
it's
Sean,
Just asking.
I'm about to fight you is what I'm about to do.
it's a good pickup though physically, especially if you don't have it. Like Rich, if you don't have it yet, that's one I would grab physically just to get it for the collection too.
I bought it on the eShop. It is a
Oh,
good
okay,
game.
yeah.
Love
So
me from Hades.
yep, it's on the Switch and PC, and you can jump between them with your save data. So Nintendo's on board with the Hades love in the direct. Then
When's that
Ninkai-
launch?
what's that?
When's it launch?
That is out March 19th. You can pre-order it now.
Soon.
Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. That is Sigma 1, 2, and Ninja Gaiden 3. June 10th.
Well, that looked cool.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love some Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, the Ninja Gaiden collection looks solid. I know people don't like Sigma 1 and 2 as much as like just Ninja Gaiden Black and then Ninja Gaiden 2, but
What?
Sigma 1
Sigma? I didn't know that.
There were some changes to it. I think they even did some censoring to it. If I'm correct.
Yeah, Sigma 1 is inferior to the original Ninja Gaiden.
But it's still Ninja Gaiden, so like it still plays
That's
like
the
Ninja
weird
Gaiden.
thing. That's the weird thing with this collection. This is technically the first time the Sigma series is coming to Xbox.
Yes.
But if you have an Xbox, you have access to Ninja Gaiden Black in 4K. So why would you buy this collection?
I wouldn't.
That is true.
It's such a weird release for the Xbox. You have the superior versions already.
I think it's on Game Pass right now. So
might be. I know 2. I think 2 just got removed.
One's on there.
One is still.
Yeah, I believe so. Because I remember looking at a Game Pass earlier, and it was like one of the original Xbox games on the list.
It's such a weird release for the Xbox. You can play the better games. So why would you buy this?
I just think most people are probably going to get it on the Switch or the PlayStation. Really, that's like I think the two places.
Yeah,
really
Switch could do well because this is the first time that the first 2 games have been on the Nintendo platform. We got Razor's Edge on the Wii U. Yay!
What's that?
Razor's Edge.
No,
Yay.
No, you said something else after that. Something about a Wii.
They should have thrown the DS game in this collection.
Yes, love
That's
that.
not a bad idea.
They were not going to take the time to port that game over.
You think
Dragon
there's gonna be
Sword?
a lot of?
Yeah, that game was good.
Great game.
Do you think-
Good, but they weren't going to port that game.
Do you think they're doing like a lot of like a museum type setup where they have all kinds of concept art and stuff you unlock, and like that would be really cool if they did all that.
Hopefully.
I'm hoping they have a lot of extra stuff in it just for fun. But
No, they won't. It's just gonna be like where
here you go.
1, 2, and 3. Then you go in. I don't think they're really gonna go too in depth with it because they're not really. If they were, I think Nintendo would have spent a little bit more time on it, or Microsoft or Sony would have said something about the game. You know, that's my thought process.
This Joy-Con's about to get lit up too.
Do not use it on use a Pro controller. You're gonna be frustration and pain, especially Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. Oh my goodness.
Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity had an expansion pass. I think they flashed the card for about 5 seconds and then moved
2
on.
waves.
That was weird.
There'll be a wave in like June and another one in November.
Yeah, I just screenshot it so I had it because I was like, let me see, because it was literally up and then gone. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess. But it looks like they're gonna have 3 different times of releasing content, with 2 of them being like actual like larger piece of content, kind of like what they did with Breath of the Wild. It looked like where like when you first sign up, you get like an outfit and like a weapon or something. Then later on, you get like actual like story content and stuff. So
Well, the original Hyrule Warriors also had like 4 or 5 different updates of DLC that obviously the Wii U stopped getting, then they kind of just ported it over to the handheld until the definitive edition came out for Switch. But yeah, no, Hyrule Warriors is just, and the Warriors games in general, I guess you could just keep adding content or adding characters or missions. I'm really curious to see where they go with this though, because there's some obviously like for those of you who have played the game, you know, like there's kind of like those loose ends, and I'd like to think maybe they go into that. So we can kind of have additional like storyline and cutscenes to experience. Pretty really cool.
it makes sense why they do that, because it's the best selling warrior style game. So
it's great,
obviously
yeah.
Koei Tecmo was like, yeah, let's make more DLC. Let's make DLC. Saga Frontier remastered April 15th. That one looks
Looks
pretty
good. I
actually.
had no idea what that game really was because I never played the PlayStation one.
Oh. Okay.
But I like the art style.
And then we had Click's favorite. I mean, the highlight for Click, Splatoon 3. That was the big one more thing at the end of the direct.
Listen, I was already super happy about Skyward Sword, and they're like, oh, there's also one more thing, and I'm like, what the heck else could you add other than my favorite Zelda game?
And it was
Dude,
Splatoon 3.
I was in heaven. Yeah, no, I'm so excited, dude.
This is an interesting one. Okay, so I'm curious. Click, I've played some of Splatoon 2, right? Not nearly like the 10,000 plus hours you have. Just, you know, like Evan's probably played quite a bit of it too. I would assume Splatoon 2. Like you played 100 hours in Splatoon 2?
Maybe.
Like, yeah. Like I don't have that many,
It's
but
a big game though. Like I'm not knocking 100 hours or something, because compared to other games, like that's a lot. But there's just so much to learn in that game. So many different weapons. It's like there's a reason why the people like the Splatoon community, most of those people have 800 plus hours in that game. Like I have like 2,000, and that's
Needed to
nothing
unlock all those
compared to the
weapons. God
actual.
damn.
Yeah, there's like 130 different weapons, but it's also the fact that I know people who have like 7,000 hours. The Splatoon community is a very dedicated community, and they were going off. Like they were so excited.
Oh yeah. So I'm curious. This game's gonna have a pretty long dev cycle between 2 and 3 then, because 1 and 2 had what, a 2-year cycle between them, right? Because it came out 2015, then 2017.
Yeah, 2015, 2017.
Yes, but you also remember part of that team also works on Animal Crossing too.
Yeah. So, but like this is going to be like technically 4 years between.
They also had Octo expansion as well, and if anybody hasn't played the Octo expansion, like that has more story. Like that, I highly recommend Octo expansion. It is probably one of my favorite DLCs of all time. I'm
curious how they make 3 feel different than 2.
They would have to go more along the lines of the DLC, because that is the most story-driven, cutscene intensive Splatoon anything that I've seen, and they did a phenomenal job with it.
Story,
I think 3 has very big shoes to fill because of how good Octo expansion was. I
like the idea of them doing a big story mode for it. I think that'd be really cool. Like a very in-depth story.
Yeah.
So I watched the trailer, I think 70 to 80 times before I made a video talking about. So I watched the trailer many times. I'm not as big on Splatoon as Click, but I have over 300 something hours into Splatoon. Yeah. So I put quite a bit of time into it. One of my favorite games on Switch. And from the very beginning, you can clearly tell the jump in time that they've had, because it looks a lot better. The models look a lot better. The characters look way better. It is definitely more of an enhancement. I know it might be hard to tell if you didn't play Splatoon a lot, but you can clearly tell there's definitely a jump in the game, and like the weapons, like the graphics in the game. But even that beginning part where they're walking, it definitely seems like it's going to be way more on the story, and the story is going to be far more involved than what they did before. It just looks on a bigger scope, and the fact that they're leaving the Inkopolis and going to like the new Splatlands, like they have a whole new setting for it. That just sets up all sorts of possibilities. And that Splatsville, or the City of Chaos, looks massive. It looks like you're going to be able to go like not just like a lobby area, but like actually go through pathways and other stuff. Maybe. It just looks like it just from like, I saw some other type of alleyways and stuff in there. Maybe it's just for window dressing, but it looks like you're going to be able to go further in and do some more stuff on there. Maybe even have potentially like where you get missions from people, then head out. And so that's what I thought, basically just watching over and over speculation. But I mean, it looks amazing, and I'm ridiculously excited to play.
So what's with the disrespect for Splatoon here then? What's going on?
To be honest, Splatoon is literally like is considered the #1 game in Japan. They have vending machines everywhere, merch everywhere. They have projector concerts with the characters, and people are in there with glow sticks, jumping and dancing and having fun. Splatoon is like a phenomenon over there, and the West just hasn't accepted. Yes, you can look it up on YouTube right now. They literally have the freaking Off the Hook. They have the Squid Sisters. Like the music is phenomenal. I'm glad they give the musicians like their live performance opportunity. They have the projectors of the characters. Japan loves Splatoon. They have tournaments all the time, and those are Nintendo supported, obviously. Splatoon, obviously, in the West is a lot like kind of like we see with the Smash community. It's a lot more
grassroots,
self-made, very dedicated fan base.
Oh, I thought you were going a different direction with that one. Go on.
No. There's a whole other point. There's some good videos I can link you guys to about all that stuff. But the point is, Splatoon is it frustrates me because Nintendo consoles are not necessarily known for their shooters. So people who are big fans of shooters, they're not necessarily going to be natively playing a Nintendo console. And that's frustrating because Splatoon, like when I first, got it, I was really into Overwatch. Like I loved Overwatch. It was my favorite game at the time. And then when Splatoon came out, I was like, oh, it's a cute team-based shooter. Like it'll be good for kids. And then once people actually were like, you should try this, and this, I was like, holy crap, this has so many elements to it. It is so deep, so intricate in the way that you can build your shooter, the motion control, how that changes playing just vanilla sticks on controller. There's so many elements that people overlook because of how it looks. And it frustrates me because it's colorful. It's totally unique. There's no other game where, it's like random, just like squids talking, sound like they're underwater. There's a lot of elements that get overlooked, and it's it's probably one of the prettiest games on the Switch. I'm very excited for 3 because I would love to even see how it could be even prettier. It's one of the best running games. The online, I play 13 hours straight. I maybe get 2 DCs. And most of the time, those are like rage quitters. So, take it as you may. I really wish Splatoon got more love, because as someone who is a fan of shooters on PC, this is honestly like it's just kind of just atrocious of how people overlook it because it looks like a kid's game.
That's the thing. It does look kind of like a Nickelodeon style game, and people have to play it to really understand it. But the problem is you got to get them to play it. So
I think the issue is not necessarily for people that don't want to play it. It's the issue for me is like they don't want to acknowledge it. Like you can not like something and that's completely fine, but when somebody says, okay, well, it's big, it sold like 12-13 million, oh well, I don't care, it's not, I don't like, they don't acknowledge it at all, even though it's factual. So I think that's the thing that I'm kind of more, it's not that everybody's not going to like the same stuff, and that's fine. You can be objective and not like one thing or not like something else, like that's cool. But like to sit there and deny what's facts, that's the kind of thing I'm like, okay, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I just kind of brush aside, because that's what I see quite a bit with Splatoon. It's like, okay, well, it sold 12 million. Oh, well, it's not big to me. It's no. It's factually big. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. Like that's, you can be what you like. If you don't like it, that's fine. But let's not act like it's not a major franchise like that. So that's the only thing that I have. Not that you don't like it.
What were you saying, Rich?
You know a YouTuber named Solid Rev.
Solid Rev.
Solid Rev, yeah. Well, anyway, whether you know him or not, he's like around my age. He's big into shooters. You would never get someone like him playing Splatoon. So I think that's part of the inherent problem with it, is that it may have an insane gameplay, but you're not going to get someone like him to play it. So that's why I think its audience gets not bottlenecked, but there's an audience out there that won't even give it a chance because of its aesthetic.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a cultural thing as well. I mean, we're not necessarily the most keen on going for cutesy wootsy, woomy Vimo characters, so I get it. But I think people shouldn't sleep on 3. Like, get into it.
It's a younger IP for Nintendo too, which is actually weird for people to think about now, because I mentioned it's only 2 years older than ARMS, and I mean I gotta remind people that ARMS exists half the time,
which sucks because that's actually a good game, but for some reason that one just took a dump for Nintendo. How did that sell?
3 million.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's bad.
What a dump.
I mean, for Nintendo, that's like, but like most games, that's good.
I mean, for a new IP that's not Smash Brothers and a fighting game. I mean, like Tekken 7 has sold like 4 million. And that's on that's on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So ARMS being as a new IP to sell anywhere near that, and like look at Street Fighter 5, for example, right? That's like I think 4 or 5
Street
million.
Fighter 5 struggled ever since it released.
So I mean, fighting games don't sell like crazy numbers. Guilty Gear and all those games don't even sell anywhere near those amounts. So the fact that ARMS as a new IP, a fighting game, could do it, but it is Nintendo. But people like to compare it to Smash Brothers, and obviously Smash is like destroys like every fighting game in terms of sales. So it's tough for ARMS. Like it doesn't have the characters. It doesn't have like everyone's like, well, let me just play Smash on the Switch,
because to Nintendo, that's like when Michael Jackson was complaining that his album only sold 2 million copies. So they're probably like, we all of our other franchises do 20 million. So no, thank you.
So Splatoon 2 is good selling. Sold over 1 million copies, or 11 million copies, which is only 2 million behind Super Mario Party, and Nintendo won't even update that game. So it's pretty good. Okay, let's go to Project Triangle.
Real quick, I got some corrections. Tekken's like at 6 or 7. Some people in the chat are saying 6 or 7 million, but even still, that's still it's on an install base of on PlayStation 4, Xbox, and PC, and it's only 6 to 7 million. I mean, that's not spectacular for fighting games. I mean, it's great, but lots of other games sell a lot more when it comes to genres like Call of Duty. Look at Call of Duty, look at sports games, look at all that stuff. So Smash, obviously. So
then we have this was up there for me with Mario Golf. This was the other big announcement that I really liked. Project Triangle Strategy. Coming 2022. So we're
I love what they did with this game, man. I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan, huge Octopath fan, really big, and like it seems like they just kind of mixed those two together. and also like some tactics, FF tactics. Like I really like the strats with this game. Really like what they did, and it's not. The thing that I like about it is that like Octopath is like a bigger, a game where you have random encounters, which can get kind of annoying at times unless you do some stuff to where you can lower the random encounters. This one has more like phases where it's like the exploration phase, then you go into like to the battle. And I really like that because I'm a big strategy RPG fan anyway with Fire Emblem. So I really like the fact that they did this. And like the decisions based stuff is super cool. Like some of the decisions even in the demo is like dope. Like you kind of like, oh man, what should I pick here? Yeah. So yeah, I really like this.
They tell us right at the beginning, they're like, you're probably not gonna know what's going on. We're just gonna throw you in the middle here, but tell us how the battles are is basically what they want to know. And it's interesting the way they have it set up. I'm curious about the branching paths and how that's actually going to work out if the decisions really matter as much as they're making it out to be. But the gameplay is interesting so far from what I've played. I played 2 of the battles, I think, so far. And you can combo some of the enemies into like your allies and they'll hit them again. And there's definitely a lot of strategy going on here with this game. The menu stuff is a bit weird at first. The movement was the thing that was, because like in a lot of these tactics games, you'll pick one of the people and then you'll hit move and then you move them. This one was a bit different, I guess. It immediately just says, okay, here's all your movement tiles like right away. And that threw me off a little bit. I don't know if it's the depth that they have it set at for like perception. I don't know. It's kind of weird to navigate them around at first, but they're doing this is like their first like demo for beta stuff. So they'll probably get a lot of feedback for that like they did with Octopath. But we did have
What the hell?
Oh shit! Sorry.
All right then.
What was that?
Well, explain
Why
what
did we
just
have a
happened.
jump scare in the middle of the Spawncast?
So the Hornets and Warriors game is coming down to the wire. Draymond Green, Hornets are down 2. There's a jump ball. Gordon Hayward gets the ball. Draymond Green like knees him in the nuts while he's on the ground. Gets a flagrant 2, gets thrown out of the game. Terry Rozier hits the 2 free throws. It's a tie game, and Hornets get the ball. Terry Rozier hits a walk-off game winner.
Nice.
Okay.
And people tell me to calm down. Goodness gracious.
While wearing a
Knicks hat. Yep.
The Hornets are my other team.
Oh boy.
Classic Draymond, man. He's definitely the knee to the nuts guy.
I don't get him. I don't get the appeal of why.
I wish I could make like $20 million a year, averaging like 2 points, 3 rebounds, and like 4 assists a game. That would be.
And the
awesome.
only reason he gets his stats is because of who he plays with. Put him on a team without.
He barely does anything. Anyway, let's move on.
Evan, you want to hit us to that Discord question because it is around Project.
All right. For anyone who hate the title Triangle Strategy, what other names would you rename the title? He suggested things like Trinity Tactics, Triad Conquest, or Scales of Conviction.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics.
I think Triangle Tactics would be a good name.
I'm confused why they don't just use the Tactics name like Final Fantasy. I don't know why like it's there. I know they want to probably be different from Final Fantasy because it's like their other team that's trying to make this into like, because did you notice that when they did the trailer, they put up part of the HD 2D series or whatever, and they had trademarked that before. So they went from standard JRPG, like traditional, to Tactics, which means they're probably going to go to another one after this, and it's just going to be part of that HD 2D series.
Action RPG.
That's what I was thinking, action RPG. Yeah. But like Final Fantasy Tactics has been dormant for a while. The name's there, and they know that if they put that name on it, it would at least give it some recognition. I don't know. It's possible they could go to it, but I'm kind of thinking this is just going to be like its own thing. And with Octopath Traveler, we first knew it as Project Octopath Traveler, and they just dropped the first thing. So
it's probably going to be called Triangle.
This might just be Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, I think they're just going to call it Triangle Strategy. They're just going to.
I think that's a bad idea.
And rename the war, dude.
RPGs, but they need a better name than that.
And rename the war.
That's what everyone said about Octopath. Everyone's like, "This name's dumb. It's not going to sell anything." And Octopath sold really well.
At least that's not fancy like Octopath.
People were trashing the hell out of the name. Let's not try to sugarcoat it now because the game did well. No,
okay with that.
We're trashing the name.
I'm not trashing the name. Personally, these games look okay to me. They look okay.
People were saying Octopath Traveler is a horrible name. They need to rename it. Nobody's gonna know. And
call this game whatever you want. I'm still not interested.
Yeah.
Really?
Nope, not one bit.
Yep.
Not one bit. These games aren't for me.
I'm with Jordan.
I'll fall asleep. I will say the voice acting was good. I like that.
Good. Yeah.
But other than that,
my friends were
gameplay,
making some of
I'm
the
bored.
voice acting. It was good.
Where's
yeah?
Time Splitters Rewind? Everyone keeps saying this.
Time Splitters needs to come back, and they're working on it right now.
For what platform?
They haven't announced. I think it's going to go to as many as THQ Nordic can put it on,
Please.
or
I
THQ can
want
put
it.
it on. I think it's going to go. I mean, we'll see. They've done some odd things in the past, depending on how the Switch development goes. But THQ, I think, is very, very interested in the Switch for development. But
Over
I
80
can
million
see,
units
at the
sold.
very least, it'll come out and it'll be PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and it'll be backwards compatible with the PS5 and the series systems. I'd like to hear about it this year, but we'll see with that one. Nate, what do you think of Triangle Strategy?
It's awful.
It's a great game. The demo is fantastic. It will be a Game of the Year contender in 2022.
Oh, wait a minute. A Game of the Year contender.
Hell yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Based on this demo, that's a damn good demo. The
To be
story
fair-
is already developed.
Yeah, but I don't even think Octopath Traveler won Soundtrack of the Year.
That's because the people who nominated soundtrack were morons, and they're like, Red Dead makes noise. That's the best soundtrack I've ever heard. And Octopath, like,
Octopath had an amazing soundtrack too, and oh, wow.
we have to listen to
Yeah.
this Primrose's theme, and that should have won by default, but that's a different topic. No, Project Triangle over here is going to be one of the best games next year. Everything about it is solid. They have a good foundation set. They have to change some of the UI.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit of just the general user interface, even with the grid. Some of it was confusing, but that's easy. They can fix that up in the next
Well, that's why they put
year.
this out. Yeah, it's just to be like, all right, what do we need to change? So they did it with.
There's a lot of good stuff in that demo.
Oh yeah, yes, I am very happy with what I'm seeing right now. I just like the visuals. I like that they're sticking with that visual style. So that'll be.
Yeah.
I just want to see where they take this going forward. The HD 2D series. I think it is a really cool take on like retro, pixel style visuals.
I just think the problem for me is the pixels. Like, I think it's really cool to have that look, that 2D, 3D
Novelty.
look, but
Yeah.
there's something about like the 8-bit, 16-bit that just does not interest me anymore. I have no interest in that.
So you think
Visually.
as they evolve that, if they maybe go up to like the 32-bit style visuals or something, and they just like they keep building on it basically, like up to like the PS1 style visuals with it or something. That's what
I
you're
just want
thinking.
a Fire
Jordan.
Emblem. Fire Emblem.
It's just name it with Fire Emblem. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
No,
very close to
no.
fire. Dude,
I want
they
three houses.
borrow so much stuff. It's 3 houses there. They have the different
Yeah, I noticed
colors.
that.
It looks like they
Yeah.
said Fire Emblem's good. Let's just do that. But what
Yep.
we want to do, like they copy a lot from Fire Emblem. But the decisions, Fire Emblem, your decisions, those make a big deal. Like it's like towards the end of the game,
Right.
before the decisions really. Whereas this one, it's like all throughout the game, which I like that about this over Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem just has like a lot of superficial choices where it's just like you can gain a little bit more affinity, or they might like or not like. This game actually has big decisions that you make throughout the whole thing, which adds to the replay value instead of just at specific points. So that's what I love about what they did here with the decision making here. So
Oh, that was the entire Direct -1 game, which we're gonna have set for a whole separate topic here after this. Evan, we got a Discord question we can fill in here, and then we'll go over a few super chats before we talk about Skyward Sword.
Okay, let's see. So
Click's already getting ready. Look at it.
Yeah, MVG was supposed to be here, but there was a bunch of questions for him.
Where's
It's all-
MVG?
I don't know.
Probably eating some scones and drinking tea.
So I'll go with this one. With the next gen console selling out and Sony being reported that it has sold more, do you think Microsoft is holding back some of the production to upgrade the xCloud servers to better hardware?
They are updating the xCloud servers, but I don't think that's happening till later this year. So I think they're just continuing forward as best they can with the semiconductor shortage. This is what I don't think they're gonna hold anything back to update the xCloud stuff, because we don't have xCloud on browsers or iPhone right now. So to them, until they get it on TVs and browsers, there's no need to even go up to Series X stuff yet. So that'll probably go into effect this holiday, I'm thinking. So they'll probably just keep trying to push out Xbox Series consoles like normal. Got another Discord question, Evan?
Which Quentin Tarantino movie would you like to have a movie tie-in game? This person
Kill
suggested Kill Bill. Yeah.
Kill
Kill
that's
Bill!
Yeah, that's an easy
I
one.
can't wait
yeah.
for the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood video game. That's gonna be so epic.
Kill Bill is a good one. I mean, that seems like it's almost already a video game anyway when you watch the
Right.
movie. So.
Yeah.
Didn't they do a Reservoir Dogs game on PS2?
Yes, they did. They did do that. I remember seeing the box art for that actually. Let's go over some of these super chats here. Dennis says Project Triangle was the best thing on the Direct, and I only had to wait since the Nintendo DS days for a Final Fantasy Tactics. Still hoping for Dark Cloud and Sly Cooper. Keep up the good work. Regards from Panama. Leo says finally doing the first time whole playthrough of God of War 2018 on my PS5 with the new 60 frames per second update on my CX. It's absolutely insane.
I bet.
Yep. Yeah. God of War now with that new patch.
baby.
Yep. Looks awesome. Matthew Hammond, if you did not like the Direct, watch OJ and Miss Click. Watch it. It will change your mind.
Nah, people still hate me. Doesn't matter.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I'm hated too.
Cam says Rich came on because of the Soldier Boy console.
Absolutely. I'm beta testing it, like I said.
Oh man. I think I still have it around here somewhere.
You're lucky you got yours. He never even. Or
Did
he never
we
even,
get the
wherever-
right one, or
wherever
did we get the
got
one
out.
that he bought out and then put a sticker on?
I matched it up for the one on Amazon before
Yeah.
they stopped selling it, and I got that one in, but it was going to be what he was going to sell. So I checked it out, and it had it had Crash Bandicoot on there, it had Mario. He was loading up for that launch day. The launch lineup was going to be solid.
Dang.
Yeah. The prison cell he was going to go in and was going to be solid too.
Oh boy. Rich says, I'm glad to see Rich there as a diehard Review Tech USA member.
Thank you.
Trip and Fall says hardware pusher question. What game on the NES console pushed the hardware to the absolute limit?
The NES?
Yeah, we think, Sean, anything come to mind?
Oh, there's a few.
There was a lot. I actually probably made a video on it.
I bet you did. I think you did. That was like your whole thing. You're doing hardware pushers. Remember that?
Yeah, and then it just got too convoluted and hard. It got too hard because like as systems went along. Let's see what I got here.
Dracula's Curse actually did.
Yeah, Dracula's Curse, Kirby's
Contra?
Adventure.
Yep.
Kirby's Adventure was a good one. Sprite work wise, 3D World Runner because it was a pretty decent 3D engine. What else do I have here? Willow had some very impressive graphics.
Radberry says I was able to get a PS5.
Oh shit! That video has 344,000 views. Thank you.
Radberry says I was able to get a PS5 off of Best Buy yesterday, and it'll be ready to pick up next Saturday. Can't wait to join in the PS5 discussions.
Nice.
Very nice. Alexian says one game possibly too weird for Nate. It got submerged by 3D World since it came out the same day, but I've been enjoying Galgun Returns. For a loot shooter, it's legitimately tough at times.
Yeah, I ain't playing that.
T-Joe says, I joined the Direct late and thought another inkling was getting into Smash. So when I rewound and saw Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Pyra, my hype levels were honestly about the same as OJ's. I thought the Direct was great.
Wait, how can you get another There's already a bunch of Inkling different skins. It's like, what would they do? Like,
Fishfan says, RGT, how'd that lotion work out for you? We went over that already. He's got to try it. Then he can report.
He's got to read the
next week.
instructions.
Put it in the basket.
There's no instructions. I looked. I was annoyed by that.
You just got to put half the bottle in your ass crack and you'll be fine.
It probably would help.
Swift says, did everyone see leaked build of Rare's canceled game called Dinosaur Planet? Pretty insane since I thought that game was lost forever. It is on my EverDrive right now on my 64 right over here. So I will be playing that. I think they said they have to do some modification to it to make it completely playable, but you can still kind of play it now.
I'm guessing no one played that because that was a Discord question for the thoughts on that.
I have not tried it yet. No, I was like soldering a PlayStation today. So I'll check that out on the 64 though tomorrow. Wobble says, thanks for having this sexy man as a guest.
A lot of sexy men here.
Okay, so we can go into Skyward Sword next then, because there's a question here about Skyward Sword. So Nate does not have MVG here to back him up, unfortunately. Sorry, Nate. because MVG made.
He said what he said. You can quote him.
He made the comment. I was listening to that podcast, and I had to stop and tweet about it.
And I stopped and I said, that's what he's saying. It's on the record as an MVG statement. It was not me.
I had to. Yeah. All right. So we have.
Say the quote. Say the quote.
What did he say?
MVG said something along the lines of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is the Mario Sunshine of Zelda games.
Oh, okay, because that means a lot.
I hear a lot of people say
that's a
not good
compliment
news to me because
Okay.
I hate Mario Sunshine. I tried it again with the 3D and the 3D world, whatever the hell.
You got it in time before they took it off shelves.
3D
Yeah,
All-Stars.
and it just is. It's the black sheep in the Mario series, in my opinion. But that's my opinion, man.
So Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is coming out in July, along with some Joy-Cons. And I got those Joy-Cons locked down, so working on that. So
Heck
Skyward
yeah.
Sword's coming out. It is going to have optional controls for motion or not, so you can just use all the buttons and joystick and all of this. Joystick.
Cool.
Yeah, like the right stick's gonna use like the sword, for example, like a little bit of
Directional.
Metal Gear Rising in there, a little bit of Metal Gear Rising action, and that's fine. I mean, there's only so many ways they could really go about doing it, since some like the dungeons and puzzles and stuff are linked to the sword play that you're using for motion controls with the Wii at the time. I did not like the motion controls back then, so I'm glad to see this. And it is a full $60. That was a big discussion, by the way, was that? But
Why are we surprised?
what
It's
did it?
Nintendo. We shouldn't be surprised, but I feel like you should be a little annoyed. I mean, I think it should have been 40 realistically.
Like I alluded to earlier, I think there's more to the game than what they showed, because really the whole presentation was just like, oh yeah, this game was a Wii game. Now the graphics are HD. Here's all the controls. We'll see you in July. Like, I think they
Don't
might
get
pull.
people's hopes up, Sean.
I honestly think they might pull a Bowser's Fury. They didn't even talk about like story elements of the game. Why would you completely
They're not
gloss
going
over
to
that?
spoil anything. He
Well-
did say it was the origin stories of the Master Sword.
When they did like, okay, so they did the remember back in the day the Link's Awakening and the Link's Awakening DX, and they put an extra dungeon in there. I almost wonder if they'll do something like that with.
I think
with
that'd be
Skyward
cool.
Sword.
I really
Or
think that
like,
I really think there's going to be something like that in there.
So
I just feel like they were saying, like, oh yeah, we have fuck all to show you about Breath of the Wild 2, but here's this awesome Band-Aid in the meantime.
it's
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 Band-Aid.
interesting.
It's the celebration year. Like they're gonna have several games coming out.
Just
So-
the way they presented it, though, you know what I mean?
I thought it was great.
like-
So Skyward Sword was going to be controversial either way because it's the lowest rated 3D Zelda game and it's almost the worst selling. It's,
Wait a minute.
It's
Hold up.
literally the worst selling
Majora's Mask,
game.
right?
No,
What's
no, no.
Majora's Mask rated?
No,
I think it's
No, 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 I'm
95.
saying rated.
Skyward Sword.
I think Majora's Mask at 95.
Is it?
Am I wrong? Am I
Yeah.
wrong? I know Skyward Sword sold better than Majora's Mask, but not by much. Like it was like barely. Like I think it was by like 400,000 units or something.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the 3D.
Oh,
Yeah,
the-
yeah,
okay.
3D Zelda games. Yeah, like I mean, if we go all Zelda games, it's like Triforce Hero.
No. I was thinking of the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's it's lower rated lower than the original release. So
So right out of the gate, it was going to be controversial because it's like, oh, it's Skyward Sword, like right away. Like there are a lot of people just don't like Skyward Sword.
But it doesn't.
So-
Hold on. It doesn't make sense to me because this game sold 3.5 million.
That's
Overall.
that's the lowest like
That's-
selling next to Majora's Mask.
That's atrociously low.
Yes.
Especially on
That just statistically tells me a majority of people have not played this game.
That is
Breath of the Wild, as of what, like last year in 2020, was 20.1 million or something like that, and it's been even more since then.
Mhm.
Like there are going to be so many people playing this game for the first time. I don't know why people are so surprised that Nintendo didn't see this as the opportunity to charge the full 60, considering the fact that people haven't played it before. I don't know why people are surprised by that, because if they're a company like that, they're just like,
Well,
it sucks because yes, it's more money, but are you surprised?
to play
I'm not
devil's advocate, you have to look at what's been happening with other consoles. I feel. And
yeah,
that's
I think
why
that's
what
it.
people are basing it on, especially
far
the
as what?
Xbox. as far as hey, you have an original Xbox game. Oh, here's a free upscale 1080p 60 frames per second.
Yeah, because they don't have any games whatsoever coming out. Like that's the least they can do.
But Diablo 2 just got announced, and it's cheaper and it's better.
What you mean as far as like what you're getting for the money?
Yeah,
the amount of work put into
the
it,
overhaul of the visuals engine, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, I'll agree, but I also think the Diablo community is probably not going to sell as much as a possible Zelda game could.
It's
this one is weird compared to the newer Diablos.
That
Diablo 2 was explosive over time. So
yeah, how much
Blizzard, sure.
Diablo 2. I don't know how much Diablo 2 sold overall. I'd have to look that up. But
it was big for them at the time.
I also think that it's also because of like the current, like for example, like Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, right? Activision completely devalues their IP. They give you 3 remakes of a game for $40. This is what people just tell me, right? They give you 3 remakes for $40. That's on them to do that. I mean, I think that was a bad call, but they did it. You know, that's what they do. And then look at like what does John play all the time? But Halo, the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah,
you get all of those games. What was that for? That was for like.
That was 60 when it came out.
It was 60, but you get like, well, how many games did you get?
You got all the Halos -5.
Yeah, exactly. So you get a bunch. So I think people, from what I've seen, of course, are comparing it to that. But I think like Nate's
Activision situation was weird because they went from, you know, it's hard for them to transition from doing whether it's Spyro or Crash Bandicoot for those 3 games for $40, which is a ridiculous good deal, to then be like, all right, here's one brand new game for 60, and that's where a lot of the issues. Like when I played Crash 4, right, great game, but I did not feel by the time I hit the end of that game that I got my $60 worth. Now, obviously,
how long was the game?
I could put 100 hours into it and complete every little detail, but by the end of it, I don't remember. It wasn't like super long.
It's not that long.
But I was like, this would have been a nice 40 thing. And I do see the next Spyro game coming out at a full 60. I do see if they made a brand new Tony Hawk game, 60, you know.
They must have that 70 mark for new next gen console.
You're honestly right. There's that too, but it's weird. They wrote themselves in a weird corner. Nintendo's just like, to me, this isn't surprising for Nintendo. Like when they said $60, I went, yeah. That's what they usually charge for anything, whether it's a remake, a re-release, or anything. Whether you agree if that's too high or too low, that's the Nintendo tax. They never devalue their IPs. They always keep them at a certain point, even if you can go and buy it for cheaper on an eShop or not. That's what they're going to do because the majority of people have access now to the Switch more than an old eShop. So.
Yep.
Let me stop you for a second because I see where this is going here. This is from JR. You donated $100 to ask this question, Rich.
Oh, no.
Okay. And I get where this is going. Hey, Rich, as someone who hasn't played a Resident Evil game, which one should I start with?
No.
I am a lukewarm Resident Evil person, but I would say Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, see?
Remake?
John was happy.
Yeah.
Back with the limited graphics of the PlayStation 1, it's still the atmosphere in that game.
Oh, see, there we go. Good answer, Rich. Good answer.
Oh, no. You started something.
Why? What's everyone else saying here?
Resident Evil 1.
No.
The series started. So that you're worried about the lore of the characters and why things are happening. What you're doing there.
I'm not getting into it. To go on to Skyward Sword, okay?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Resident Evil 5, you got Chris Redfield's biceps at least.
Oh, no.
The boulder punch. The boulder.
I do want to go back to Skyward Sword with you, real quick, but we can also look within Nintendo because they just released Mario All-Stars last year, and that has Mario Galaxy, which is a Wii title that got a similar treatment, and that's part of a 3-game collection for $60. So that's another thing that's like getting pointed to. And I mean, I'll say Galaxy is a better game than Skyward Sword.
And like I said before, I think it goes back to what Jordan said. I'm not sure if it's they're always going to price they're not going to devalue their IP. I think that's really what it comes down to. They're not looking at, oh, this was better than this. They're not going to devalue it. They're always just going to put Donkey Kong 60. Everything's basically 60. Pikmin 360. It doesn't matter if they add stuff to it or not.
Like, is it devaluing or is it overvaluing?
Well,
it's devaluing.
I'm not part of the company, so I don't know. So whatever you want to call it, I'm just saying that they're not going to put anything below. They're always just going to charge 60, whether they add new content to it or not. Yeah. It's just going to be 60 regardless. So
I mean, that's not always been. What was it? The Super Mario Brothers Wii U, whatever. That was 60, right?
Yep.
Yeah, everything's just 60. Whether they add stuff or it can be Donkey Kong add a funky mode.
They took a mystery dungeon game, which at the time came out at $35 and made it $60. So I'm saying they're always because they could say, oh, it's both games in one. It's not. They're both the same game with minor differences.
Well, they do the remake, right? They remade a game,
but they remade it, right?
They remake it, and it's still it's 60. They port it, it's 60. It doesn't matter. So I think the option, like what Nate said, maybe Nate, you can get into this. If you want to buy it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, I think
it's only going to come down. It's only going to come down to what their investors think, and if they could say, okay, we value that this is still worth a full price game, that makes their investors happy because they know, regardless of any backlash or outrage that happens with all these games, they still sell. Oh, we could sit here and talk about how crappy the last Pokemon games look. Look what those numbers did. Yep. It's not like Skyward Sword is going to come out and do 3.5 million again, and that's it. This game is going to double it easily. Yep. Whether you go against it or not, that's just how it runs when there's all this business. I'm not saying I'm for it. I'm just saying that's how it's going to go. Nintendo is known to do this. I don't think it should be a surprise every time they come out at 60. And this is how you speak with your wallet. This is how you speak with it. If you don't like it, don't buy it right now.
There's people sitting there saying, all I'm saying is this facts. You guys can sit here and get all butthurt and salty in the chat. That's fine. But it's facts. If you want to buy it, you buy it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not defending anything. I'll buy whatever the hell I want as a customer, as a consumer. I'll buy what I want. If you guys don't like it, then speak with your wallet. I'm just telling you guys the facts. No matter when it comes out, no matter what game, they're just going to do it at 60. If you don't like what I'm saying, it's true. Like you guys can sit there and get mad, but it's the freaking truth. Nobody's defending anything. Just buy it if you want to buy it. Don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. Stop being a
Microsoft fan in the industry stand up to Microsoft several months ago when Microsoft said we want to raise the price of Xbox Live Gold. Everyone said, fuck that. That's a ripoff, $120. Nintendo comes out and says we're going to charge you $60 for Skyward Sword. If you as the fans do not want to, do not support it. Don't pre-order the game. Don't buy the game. And Nintendo will sit there and say, okay, our fans aren't willing to buy these games at $60. Up to this point, of all the egregious shit Nintendo's pulled this generation, Skyward Sword's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. This is going to be the outcome. You don't have to support these business practices. They're doing what they're doing because you have up to this point.
Yeah.
You as the consumer have all the power. If you don't pre-order it and it's #1 on Amazon, it's sold out, you are rewarding this bad business practice by saying, I have to buy Skyward Sword. Do you have to buy Skyward Sword? You're choosing to buy it at $60. If you don't see the value at $60, don't buy the game at that price. And people say, oh, but Nintendo games never go on sale. Every game, when you buy it at launch, you're spending $60 to say, I have it day one. If you don't buy the game, they'll have to reduce the price. Or they want to sell it. Or buy it used.
Yes.
This is a company who's only pricing it this way because you have continued to support this pricing structure. Now, Nintendo's going to exploit that. Every business will. So what do? You have to say to them, we don't support this anymore. Stand up to the company if you don't support this pricing. They did it to Microsoft. Microsoft reverted.
Apple.
Yeah.
Like
Apple's atrocious.
We're not including a charger for the environment. Yes, I totally believe that. Please give me Kool-Aid, Apple, please.
Yeah.
Everybody has a choice, right? Like if you want to pay for $70 games on PlayStation, you buy it. If you don't, then don't support it. If you want to support online microtransactions with Madden, then buy it. If you don't, then don't buy Madden. Everybody has a choice as a consumer. I was a huge Madden fan. I no longer buy Madden. Madden's doing fine without my support, but I'm never going to buy something that I don't support. Okay. So you guys as consumers, stop worrying about what this person's doing and what that person's doing and worry about what you're doing. Okay. So you don't buy it. You going on don't buy the game, but don't worry about what somebody else does with what they want to spend on. And that's the problem that I see. People are lashing out at people.
Yes.
And I think it's whack. If somebody wants to buy Skyward Sword, they can buy it. That doesn't make them you're no better than them because you buy whatever you want. I see people that buy Call of Duty every year talk about don't buy this. Like stop buying fucking Call of Duty every year. You know what I'm saying? Like that game, they're doing all sorts of stupid stuff with that, so people can just get what they want. Like
I mean a lot of people are taking
that's a really good point
on whatever. Just buy what you want as a consumer, and if they continue to do bad things, then don't support it. If you want to support it, then support it. Like, why? I don't understand this.
I think people are taking like a less vocal road on certain things depending on the topic. Like when it comes to Nintendo, a lot of these IPs, a lot of these games are so close to our heart where we tend to get over passionate about things. And I get that. We've all been there. But like when it comes to other stuff, there's a lot more like easy rationality. Oh, Returnal's coming out. That's a $70 game. I don't know much about it. Okay, I won't get it. As simple as that. And or oh, I'm interested. I'll pay the 70. But then you have a game coming out after Ratchet and Clank, and most people are like, yeah, I'll pay 70 for that. Yeah. So there's different dynamics, and with Nintendo, it's definitely
Returnal.
It's definitely interesting. You say you are or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy Returnal.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm interested. I'll wager risking the 70.
Perception of value. Well, perception of value is going to come down to each individual. When I look at Skyward Sword for $60, I say, oh, I am not buying that game again for $60. Nintendo is selling it for $60 because they know you're going to come out and you're going to buy it. They know that their base, especially on the Switch, is hungry. They keep buying up these games and selling millions of copies. Now, even at $40, I wouldn't buy Skyward Sword.
Hold on, I think we do need to like differentiate though the arguments, because there are some people I feel like, and they're kind of one mob right now. Some people are like, I'm not going to spend it because it's a port, and then some people are like, I'm not going to spend it because I've heard it's a bad game. And I feel like if you're going to say like you think it's a bad game, like just don't buy it. Now, if you're begrudgingly upset because it's just a port for you, like that's a different argument. Like that's more of the specs versus the subjectivity of I don't like this game like as for it is. But I think a lot of people haven't played it, so they haven't been able to make that decision for themselves.
I did a poll.
And again, like stop coming after people. Like it's my favorite Zelda game. You can't come after me. Like that doesn't, your opinion doesn't mean anything to me about that. If you're gonna get upset about me for liking Zelda, a lot of people think that I'm a shill for it, but I've said literally since I finished Skyward Sword, this is my favorite Zelda game. I was hoping that Breath of the Wild probably could knock it down, but Skyward Sword is just a phenomenal game, and I love it. I think it has very special element. That's the thing with Zelda games, is they're all so different that people are like, oh, this Zelda game's worse than this one, or this one's better than this one. They're all so different. They all have different elements about them. But I think that there are a lot of people who have not played this game who should give this game a chance. Now, if you don't want to buy it new and you want to buy it used when it's out a couple months later, sure, go and do that. I bought a lot of games used too. There's no shame in that whatsoever. I just, again, I'm really surprised where it's like, I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm not even surprised anymore that people are surprised that this is Nintendo's thing. And again, yes, talk with your wallet, speak with your wallet. Nintendo literally didn't have a tournament happen because people boycotted it, and it actually became something where the community is united because people actually did something about it. But again, like, you don't get to complain and then still buy the game. Like that's what doesn't make sense to me, because we complained about Sword and Shield, people still bought it. We complained about, what was the other one? I can't even think right.
Everything.
Literally every game. We complain about it. Like we complain about the maps, we still buy the DLC. Like stop complaining about it and then buying it. Like, to me, that's just like you're barking. You're not actually biting.
As soon as this game comes out, the controversy will end with this game.
And it's so
the next
annoying,
game,
though.
they'll choose everyone will choose another game to be divided on. Whether that certain remakes of Pokemon, whether they look good or not, whenever they announce them, whether it's the next Mario game, whether it's a remake of a Mario game or a Zelda game or whatever it's going to be.
Remakes of Pokemon games.
I didn't say anything. Just stay tuned to next week. You're either going to be really happy or disappointed.
Next week, what's happening next week? There's another podcast next week. That's what you mean, right?
Sure. Okay. Our next podcast is on Pokemon Day. So
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll have Pokemon stuff to talk about then. Huh.
I sure hope so.
Wow.
Be smart of them to.
I did do a poll that click on the channel for the community tab. I had 59,000 votes on it. I asked, have you ever played Skyward Sword? 67% said no, the Switch will be the first time.
Yes, that's literally, it's 3.5 million people. We have sold how many consoles? 100 something?
Mario Party sold 10 million copies more, and it still has not seen an update. They're about to remake all of Skyward Sword.
There are so many people who haven't played this game. Like, let them experience it for the first time. Like, I'm so sick of people being like, oh, I disagree with it, so therefore you're a horrible human being if you have a different opinion than me. Like, it's a video game, you guys. If you don't have the money for it, save your money. If you don't want to spend the money on it, don't spend the money. Like, talk.
Maybe there'd be
where it actually matters.
The problem with this topic is it's a much bigger thing of that Nintendo gets away with a lot. They get away with more than what Sony and Microsoft does, and it's true. But the reason Nintendo gets away with it is because the fans allow them to. You reward their business practices by supporting
with your wallet, but you're not a bad person if you choose to do that, Nate. I think that's the difference. You can't cast people as horrible people, or people like sending me like death threats. I got some rape threats over this past week, literally because I told them I'm buying Skyward Sword. Like it's honestly like this is it's the internet. You should expect it. But my patience is so thin with people right now who think they're entitled because like I have a different opinion than them. Like it's ridiculous. I have zero patience.
Don't worry. Anyone
buying some on eBay the other day. So.
Anyone threatening you over a video or a Zelda game, their penis doesn't work anyway. That's don't worry about it. They're worthless. Wow, that's incredible.
No, but it happened. It happens. But obviously, they're not going to do anything because anybody who's that upset over a video game obviously has problems in real life.
No, we're at the point you can't say people won't do anything. I've literally had people send me screenshots of my front door.
Yeah.
That's not something we can say like, oh, it's the internet. They're not going to do anything about it. Like, no, there are people like genuinely being concerned for our safety because we have a different opinion. Like, that's why it's a video game. My personal well-being, anybody's personal well-being, any creator, anybody who has a different opinion, like we're still humans. We don't deserve that over a freaking video game. Like, chill out.
Yeah,
that's sad. I've been bought it twice, so I know.
I agree. Just guys, just buy it if you want to buy it. Buy it if you don't gotta buy it. But I mean, to be honest, man, I hate the motion controls in Skyward Sword.
So I bought the Joy-Cons too.
I hate the motion controls. I absolutely do not like the motion controls because I feel that they're delayed, and it seems like they're not going to be as delayed in this one. They're going to be better, but there's button controls, and I want to play the game with button controls because I did not enjoy my playthrough first. So I want to go through
to see how they work.
You get to play that Zelda Revengeance. That'd be great.
Here's a good question. We'll do it now. Does Skyward Sword, when it comes out on the Switch, does it get rated higher or lower than the Wii release at 93?
Higher.
Lower.
Higher.
I would think
higher.
lower.
I mean, I think the difference is going to be minuscule.
I think it'll be like a 91 or 92. It'll be something like that, you know?
The original's 93. No, it's not getting higher than 93.
I think it'll be like a 91 or 92. It'll be close. So.
It's going to be plus or minus 1 compared to the original. Because unless they do quality of life changes, it's still going to have the same flaws in terms of game design that the original release had. Motion controls was one problem of the release. But if it still has the collectathon in the back half, if it still has the pacing issues, those could actually be viewed as more extreme flaws in modern design than it was back then. It could have been forgiven back then. That was finally the Wii's original Zelda game. People are going to be like, I'm going to overlook some of these flaws because I want to really love this game.
To compare it to now.
You're not.
Now we have a time warp though, so it'll be interesting to see how people's opinions have changed over time. Yes, because of games that are out now.
It's definitely going to be lower. Every single Zelda game that gets re-released gets lower.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, every single, and it's like sometimes even drastic. Like Wind Waker 96, Wind Waker HD, which fixed some of those pacings and stuff. 90.
Who did that?
Like,
who reviewed that? Hold on.
Well, that's the thing with like this release. If you still have the interruptions every time you picked up a coin, this is a ruby. You spend with it.
No, yeah.
I get it, Fee. I understand what I'm doing in the game. You don't have to give me a tutorial 15 hours into the game of, if you want to fight this enemy, slash your sword. We know, we've been doing it. If that's still present, the game's going to get knocked, and deservedly so.
I think the game
had a lot of flaw designs.
The game's going to sell pretty well, though. So
it's going to do well.
I mean, every time
it's going to sell well because the Zelda base has expanded on the Switch due to Breath of the Wild. You're going to have some curiosity as to what this older Zelda game is from that new audience, and it's going to be just as divisive as it was back then. You're going to have these people whose first Zelda game was Breath of the Wild go back to this now antiquated design, and they're going to say, "What is this game? I just want Breath of the Wild too."
You think more or less than Mario Party?
Oh my gosh, John.
What's Mario Party at? 11 million?
Way too much. 13 and a half.
Jeez.
13 million. Yes. Mario Party
What's
is
Link's
quietly becoming one of the
Awakening at?
best-selling
You chose to
games.
spend your $60 on that?
Yeah,
Link's
I know,
Awakening
right?
is
That's why
nowhere
I say
near-
that every night before I go to bed.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah, but I didn't buy that one.
Link's Awakening is like 5 million or something.
Yeah, it's like yeah. So, but that's Link's Awakening. That's different. That's not a highly publicized game as much as like Skyward Sword is. You know, with
I'm gonna
the-
say Skyward Sword 7-8 mil.
I think that's fair. I don't know if it'll touch 10, but it's easily going to
Yeah.
double. Maybe
Yeah, it's gonna double.
I think 10 is the ceiling.
You think
Yeah.
It'll get close, but I don't know if it'll break.
I mean,
through.
that'd be a success for Nintendo. I'd be like, oh, good. That's good.
yeah, 60
Game and-
port, $60, 10. Yeah,
Put it
it's
over.
already number 1 on Amazon, so it shot right up past Super Mario 3D World. It's gonna do extremely well. So we'll see
Do we
how
wanna-
people.
Do we
like
want
it.
to? The only thing I've learned is that boycotts seem to work out for sales. So
Imagine.
We did have a
Uh,
Discord question about it. Do we think it's going to be a limited time release like the 3D All Stars game?
that one I don't think so because they
They
probably
didn't announce it.
No,
Yeah.
the thing that I think could be a limited release is a Zelda collection.
Yeah, the triple pack, right?
You know what? It might be Ocarina. I'm thinking it might be Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and Twilight.
But which Ocarina though? Do you think they try to rework the 3D?
You know, I don't. Maybe
Because
They
when people
That's kinda
complain about the old graphics,
that's a good question because
They wouldn't
they're gonna
rework
complain
it.
about something.
They wouldn't rework it.
I
they're-
think I might get Mario 60 or just Mario Zelda 64 Ocarina of Time. Just throw it up there. But I think it could be that triple pack because it'd be a 64 game, a GameCube game, and then a Wii game.
True.
So I could just roll with that.
So when are they
And
ever going to announce Super Mario Galaxy 2 sold separately? When's that going to be announced for $60?
That's dude, you know that's gonna happen.
I'm waiting for that to happen. If they're putting one of the Zelda games aside from the triple pack, they're eventually
The
going to
thing that
release.
gets me though, dude, is Galaxy 2 is really good. So
I
it's
know,
like-
and and that it'll have the same conversation.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. Mark this right now. Whenever they announce that, we will have the same
that's the thing,
conversation
though.
and arguments that we just
But that's
had.
the thing though, Galaxy 2 is legitimately like one of the best games ever made.
It
So
still
it's
doesn't
like,
matter.
Okay, but
Someone's
some
going to go.
people
It's
don't
not worth
enjoy it.
$60.
Some people don't enjoy it. They're not
I
going to say
will
this.
find those people. Who doesn't
Except,
like
except for someone in the chat says I'd pay
John
$100
is
for
to
it.
Mario Galaxy 2 as I am to Skyward Sword. So you see the issue here?
Whoa, wait,
whoa,
wait.
hold on a minute. Let me-
Mario
let me look
Galaxy
up- let me
2
look up the
actually
Metacritic
is
on that
one
Did
one.
you just
There's
say I'm gonna
top 10
find
games ever.
who doesn't enjoy Mario Galaxy 2?
I mean, I'm already looking up these Wind Waker reviews.
Well, John, let me say this. I was reading an article by The Guardian the other day, and
Oh.
Skyward Sword was the bottom of the 3D Zelda games. It was
Yeah,
ranked next to
all right.
Phantom Hourglass.
We got
Yeah,
to
we-
get have Hourglass, man.
Jordan.
It's coming back. They renewed the trademark.
That's what I said because it's a controversial Zelda game, Skyward Sword. So like, it's not Mario Galaxy 2 is a 97 on Metacritic. People look at that and go, "Yeah, it's a really good game."
Yeah, that's like what 3D Mario's
No, it's like-
aspire to be.
That's
Yeah, but I think
But not
people,
everybody's gonna enjoy it.
people still gonna be up. Like they'll find something to be upset about though. Like always. Like there's and like I said, unless it's like it comes out and it's like $40 or $20, which it's not going to be. But unless like it comes out and it's like that, you know, then oh, well, that's great. Now it's the price that I want. But I don't think they're gonna do it individually. I think that's just gonna be like put on some type of like an emulator or something like or like at NSO or something. I don't know if they're gonna do anything individually with
I would like that. If they just release it digitally, that'd be cool.
Okay,
Or
so
if they did DLC for it, or I don't know, just
I have
something.
a question. I have a question, right? So you already obviously have these games. Why are you rebuying them?
Which
Can't
one?
you still play them on the old consoles?
Because as Sean said, it's portable.
Which one? Which ones?
Because it's portable, right?
It's portable.
Because they
Zelda?
know any game that's being re-released
well,
right now.
Zelda,
If
the
it's
thing
Mario
is they're-
Galaxy, why would you rebuy it if you already you enjoyed it
But
already?
I don't
Like
want to plug in my Wii.
you want to plug it in your Wii?
I don't want to plug in my
They
Wii.
never
So-
released the Wii HD because they were confused as anything in that time. So I'm all right with getting it on the Switch if it's like $20 or $30.
I like it for Switch because Switch is easier for me to. It's my system that I'm using, and I can
Yes.
stream on it.
So
And then
convenient.
also portability adds a little bit of a factor to it. And then sometimes they add some cool stuff into the game, but like
Right.
other times they do, sometimes they don't. But that's the reason why I buy something, but I don't rebuy like every old
Well,
game.
with-
that I played before.
in Zelda, they're making those really annoying motion controls optional. So.
Yeah, that's the
really
biggest reason.
Convenience.
Yeah.
That's the biggest reason why I'm buying
Well,
it.
it seems like it'll change the whole game up for that, so I'm okay with that.
Click your question. It kind of doesn't work for us though, because
No.
It's like-
A lot of our discussions are mainly pertain to us, and even people who are watching aren't in the same boat as us. Like I understand that, but what I'm saying is people who have already played these games before, right? And they're like, I have to buy this game again for $60? Like, why are you wanting to buy it again in the first place? Are you wanting to replay it on their portable console?
I see what Click's saying.
Well, it probably doesn't work for this one either, because this is this one in particular, like you said, it just didn't sell well, so not a lot of people played it anyway.
Right. Exactly.
Like if it's like the Mario 3D All-Stars collection, I mean, that one has, I guess, Mario Sunshine, which there are probably people who didn't play it because they weren't playing games during the GameCube era, and that had never really been moved around. And everyone has to play Sunshine. If you don't play
FVG is so upset right now.
I mean, you don't have to play Sunshine.
Everyone should
Really
play
Nate.
Sunshine.
really
Don't play Sunshine.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
Skyward Sword, I'm not going to buy this version. This is the only 3D Zelda I have never replayed, and I have no interest in replaying this game
I'm
again.
writing
And
that
that's
down
okay.
right.
And that is up to you.
I said that's enough for me.
That's
And it's
okay.
10 years later, and I still don't have a desire to return.
21. Nate
And
says
that's okay.
will not play. 2021. RGT says will not play Fall Guys.
I will not.
I am not replaying Skyward Sword. I have no interest in returning to that game.
Look, I play. Look, all right, I'll keep it real with you, motherfuckers. I play some games
Keep
because
it
I know,
real.
hey, I'll get some views on this, and I'll be able to buy some delicious, steaks or something to put in my freezer so I can cook it. Yes, I sometimes buy games knowing that I'm not going to like it, and I make a video on it. That's just the way I work, though. Like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, fuck that game. I knew I wasn't going to like that game, and I didn't like that game when I bought it at $60. However, Skyward Sword I will buy because it is the only mainline Zelda game I have not completed because I did not like the motion controls. So, but like I was saying, like it obviously varies.
It doesn't have anything to do with the performance of Zelda on the channel right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you're a
fuck.
Zelda channel now, huh, Sean?
I'm the Zelda guy now, man. Like,
Yeah, okay.
I'll show you all these things. Let me show you these
Oh,
things.
you're a Zelda guy now. Okay, which goddess created law to the
Oh
land?
my
Sean?
God.
Get out here, Sean.
Yo, this podcast ain't gonna be online
We're getting
anymore.
demonetized.
Oh my God.
We're getting demonetized.
I didn't know the Grand Canyon was gonna make an appearance today, but
And-
goddamn.
And that's the no lotion butt crack too. God damn.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Man, I want to pour some lotion in there.
Oh my gosh.
Sean, why?
No,
Pull up your pants.
No.
First the
Man.
ham, then the steak.
No.
Sean, those are some nice butt cheeks. You got some sculpting going on there. Bro.
I'm wearing these nice boxer briefs too that have like a cooling thing.
Listen,
Oh
I was
my
about to
God.
say,
What's a cooling thing? What do you mean?
Like to keep
It has the cooling pouch for your front.
What?
Let's
Oh.
air breathe
These
through.
steaks, man. Like
you could drop
Thank
a
you,
hot dog
Zelda.
in those butt cheeks.
Thank you,
Thank
Zelda. All right.
Oh,
I'm
Zelda
gonna
bought you
have to
that
click
meat?
the partial
I tend
nudity
You
and
put
the
that- you can put that
monetization.
on
$10.
Pound.
Flip it out.
$10. That's not that much for that, man. Is that a good cut?
No, but
Getting a lot for the bone there. There's bone in, right?
It's a little
Before you put it back, pull up your pants, bro. Before you
No.
put it,
I might just eat it raw right here. You don't know.
That's pretty much how you guys like to eat your steak, right? It's all red in the middle and shit.
No, I like
No.
medium rare.
Medium rare, OJ. We're not getting into this right now.
So did,
Hold on. I just have one question for Sean. You're the Zelda guy now. Which goddess established law to the land?
Out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave him alone, man. He's
I don't do
steak.
the Hyrule lore bullshit where people try to.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
this is where this
slander.
game is in the time. No, fuck off. They're all individual
But this is
games
the first
unless,
one.
The
unless
slander.
otherwise
The
stated.
slander.
Unless I
Fake
see a
fan.
character from another thing.
It's
And-
the origins.
Sean, you don't listen to her. You just massage your beef, boy.
I will. It's very tender. I want to
So-
make one of these tonight.
oh boy, mistakes were made tomorrow, right?
I'm
Mistakes
officially
were made.
nauseous.
Do we get that thumbnail of you with the labo and it's got like meat on it? You're like, I was wrong.
No, I like these are good steaks. They taste good.
They need AI, like blur AI, so in case his RGT's butt cheeks ever come out again. it's what-
Let me stand up properly here.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, that's the streamer way to get up.
Dude, that was like a whole 6. That's a whole
Man,
George, baby,
hands
it's
up to
all
your
day.
nipple.
Oh God.
God, I feel like it's one of my streams.
Well, now we have to now we have to secure the sponsors going forward because we don't know how long we had left.
Oh God.
Let's secure the sponsors.
Who's gonna sponsor Sean's ass?
Manscaped.
You have a hairy ass. We have the product for you.
Oh man.
Okay.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Have a smooth ass, and not what Sean
You
has.
know what? Hey, real
They
talk.
might be on the list of sponsors, actually.
Manscaped. I'm getting a Manscaped package on Monday. I'm doing a
Dude, just
sponsor
say-
deal with them.
Hey, were you watching the Spawncast on Saturday?
I need you guys. Thank you for the ball hair trimmer or whatever you're sending me.
Oh, dear God.
Gonna give you a weed whacker for those.
I think that's what they
We
call
went
it.
to 3.0.
I hope they
Okay.
send that.
Dude, that
So-
thing's actually good.
We'll go through the last topic here with Diablo, then we'll finish up with super chats and any Discord questions we have. How many of those do we have left, Evan?
Maybe only a couple since MVG's not here.
Oh, okay. You want to go through those first before we go to Diablo 2 to finish up with our last topic?
We'll do this one. What do you think will be the next gen console controller gimmick for Nintendo? Will they diverge or converge more with the other platforms?
Oh, you mean next, like you said?
They gotta stay hybrid.
I can't predict anything for Nintendo.
Yeah,
They'll
they definitely
try
have to
new
stay
things.
hybrid.
But are they?
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
is it going to come in line with the other consoles? Like, are we going to see the adaptive triggers? Are we going to see stuff like that come into play? Or are they going to try something their own thing again?
Maybe their own way.
I'd like to see them do adaptive triggers just to have everyone for the most part on the same page, but like Microsoft still isn't. That's the annoying thing. So
Yeah.
like if everyone was using the same rumble and the same triggers, I feel like you would see third parties use it a lot more.
Mm.
But I think at the very least, if Nintendo does it too, it would just work to get them third parties more on board with it. But that's the problem is it's hard to predict what Nintendo will do with their next
Yep.
system because like the Joy-Cons, thinking about the Joy-Cons during the Wii U era, like no one would have thought of that.
Right.
So it's tough to figure out what they got to stay hybrid though. Sean's right.
Dude,
You
all
cannot
they
go
got to do is put on the
Yeah.
box, no more drift, and boom, everyone's in.
I think if they just make it so that there is less sacrifice going to the hybrid system, that would be enough for a
As
lot
far
of
as
people.
performance wise,
They just need to upgrade the SoC. You know, the Tegra X1 was 2 years old already when they first came out with the Switch.
Yeah, so like performance and visuals, if there's less of a sacrifice to go to the hybrid concept, I think it'll be that one on its own would be better. So like that's like everyone seems to obviously like the hybrid concept for the most part. So I think if they can just limit what you lose when you go to the hybrid concept for a lot of people when playing games, that'd be enough for me. We have another Discord question, Evan.
Guess we can go with this one. Apparently, Nate and MVG talked about the potential of Nintendo launching an advanced Switch in 2022. He's just wondering if our ideas, I guess, fall in line with Nintendo dropping that type of system.
I mean, a lot of the rumors mention it alongside of Breath of the Wild 2, but I mean, it could still be the same. It could be their fiscal year. So the fiscal year would end at the end of March. So yes, it could technically sneak into their 2022 year.
You're still
In
thinking
March.
you're still thinking a Switch Pro will be a thing?
Yeah, I still think a Switch revision will happen.
Wouldn't that be
what
a
level
really
are we?
bo-
Yeah, what level are we talking? Like just a DLSS upgrade basic, or are we talking like
Yeah, it's
new
I mean,
games for this new system? Kind
No,
of.
I don't think it'll be new game.
Yeah, MVG and I have gone over it now half a dozen times.
Yeah.
It'll be a
all of them
revision. It's going to have DLSS capabilities. It will have 4K functionality, courtesy of DLSS.
Yep.
Nintendo will continue to support the brand for a few years. The best thing to compare it to would probably be something similar to the Game Boy Color. It's not going to be a full-on successor where we're seeing it replace the current Switch. And you can look at titles like Breath of the Wild 2 or even Splatoon 3 as an example of that. Those titles are going to be compatible with both of these platforms. And with these games being, with Splatoon 2 being dated for 2022, it's clear that the current Switch isn't going away in the next 18 months or so. So it's just going to be a more premium version of the Switch family. We have to view it as a family. And yeah, 4K functionality, courtesy of DLSS. It's not going to be native 4K. And I mean, that's really all anyone needs to know at this point. It'll be announced very likely this year.
Yeah.
When it launches is entirely up to Nintendo. We know there are semiconductor shortages right now. That's crippling the industry. I don't think Nintendo's in a rush to be able to say, we manufactured 1 million units. We're launching this holiday. Now we have no more. They're going to see how supply and everything begins to regulate over the coming months. Once it hits production, more rumors will come out, and then we can go from there. But yes, announcement this year, timing of launch either this year or early next year. And we'll see how the year.
I do have to take exception to one thing you said, though, Nate. You said it was going to be like a Game Boy Color. However, the Game Boy Color had its own library of games.
Yes. Well, that's where with this, we could be seeing Nintendo will support both of these platforms. Eventually, let's say after 2 years, they may begin to fade away from the current Switch. The idea is that Nintendo may not necessarily do the traditional model of what we see for new generations. Third parties may not follow that. They could say, hey, we got that extra horsepower. We're making that game native to just a Switch Pro. We're not going to be supporting the original Switch anymore. So Game Boy Color, new 3DS, DSi, that type of thing. It's not going to be a full-on replacement in the traditional sense. We could be looking at more of a mobile type of upgrade where we're still supporting that previous generation, but over time we're going to fade out of that and move into this current pillar and then move on to the next thing from there after a few years and that type of upgrade model. But that can also change.
Thanks, Nate. I did not think you're going to go that deep on that.
You went really fast.
Yeah, it's not really that deep.
You got to be like, hey, watch the video.
They can also watch the video. We go into even greater.
Why? You gave it away.
No,
I've already seen the intro, the middle, and the climax now.
You did not.
You can trust a lot of what Nate said. There you go. We got any more Discord questions, Evan, before I move over to Diablo 2 Remastered?
Yeah, one left. It's a little trolly, but I'll allow it. Which game deserves our snark the most? Fighting Game of the Year nominee Jump Force, Nintendo Direct third-party showcase highlight WWE Battlegrounds, or just straight up Balan Wonderworld?
Oh,
okay. Well, Battlegrounds wasn't a terrible game.
And also, that's on PlayStation now, so I just downloaded it. I didn't buy it.
Like it was a budget game. It wasn't terrible.
At least Jump Force has cool characters in it.
But does it really?
Yeah, it has all the cool anime characters in the Shonen line.
That's true. Here's my issue with Balan.
It's cool. Game may not be good.
Balan, it doesn't really have anything going for it.
I only have an issue with what Nate said about the Switch Pro. If they make it that third-party developers are required to make the games work both on the Switch Pro and the Switch.
To work on both.
Yeah, because then it would bottleneck. It would make the Switch. It would hurt the games that came out for it, or the games just wouldn't come out for it.
It would depend probably on the project. If it's a more ambitious thing where they see, not necessarily, I'm not saying like a AAA third-party game, but just be something that's a little more. Then I could see that trend. But it also depend on the sales of the unit at the time, and maybe to complement the current Switch, that's where they say. Switch Pro, you're getting, just as an example of a game, you're getting Control native clouds coming to the current Switch. We're supporting both platforms in a unique way.
Yeah, the cloud functionality kind of makes that possible, and actually kind of interesting that they could do that. So
there's a lot they can do.
Balan Wonderworld, though, that's the one. I'd throw that one under the bus immediately. Yes. Mm-hmm. Ever since I played that demo, I've basically forgotten about it. Are you gonna get that, Sean? By the way, you gonna pick that game up?
Do I want to? No. Will I? I don't know.
Yeah, you will.
I mean, it would make for a good follow-up video.
Yeah.
So from my wallet's perspective, I think it's a good idea. However, I do want to get deep into Monster Hunter Rise, which
that's the same day. That's what I'm asking you.
How good did that new trailer look for the game?
It looked great.
It looked
amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's great.
So let's see. I'll do a few super chats here. We'll finish up Diablo 2 Remastered. And Lycon says, I think you forgot top left square being here, John. Joven says, I'm surprised that
here. No fringes. I got a hello at the start.
Yeah, I got Jordan.
Yeah.
I asked him about the Pokemon cards from McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. This is from Joven says, I'm surprised that Sean had friends and takes showers.
I shower once. I shower once a day at least.
Gosh.
At least.
Tenor says, I don't really understand the hate Skyward Sword's controls gets. I was fine with it. I feel it's just the cool opinion to have, much like hating Jar Jar Binks.
Yep.
But Skyward Sword.
Wait, hold on.
Jar Jar Binks sucked. Like
Jar Jar Binks is fucking annoying. No.
horrible.
Oh gosh.
My thing with Skyward Sword is my problem with Skyward Sword is not even the controls. I didn't mind the controls in that game at all.
Yep.
It was just the collectathon and pacing.
Michael says, if you hate Skyward Sword, that's reason it should get quality of life updates. If you love it, that's the reason to port it to current gen. There's no valid argument against it. Dragoon says, do you think Nintendo will make a Mario Warrior style game anytime soon, if ever?
That'd be something else.
You know what? I'm down.
Well,
The
if
Mushroom
you ask
Wars.
me, will they ever make a Mario XCOM game? I'd say no, but that happened. So
Rabbids, you're right.
Oh
I
yeah,
never
that
know.
happened. Yeah, that happened.
you never know.
Yeah, that happened.
They made a Pokemon strategy game too. Like
Yeah.
Pokemon,
Oh, Pokemon Conquest was awesome.
If you want to talk about bang for your buck, that is probably the longest Pokemon game to complete everything in. It
You
is
think
such a
They should
huge
port,
game.
they should port that over.
Like
You
just
have
beating
Pikachu
the story
fighting
the
with
first time.
Nobunaga.
No, beating the story the first time is basically just the tutorial. The amount of time put is just, and then it unlocks all this other. It's such a big game.
Conquest was
Crazy.
amazing. I mean, whoever thought Nobunaga would be chilling with Pikachus?
It's weird, but it works.
Oh, it was perfect.
Bradley says, I know everyone is disappointed with that direct, but Skyward Sword is an underrated, underexposed Zelda title, and honestly, one of my favorites. Between the Splatoon 3 announcement and Skyward Sword, it was a great direct.
I agree.
Wasn't there
I
more
like
to
it
that?
myself.
There's more than that, but those
Also-
are the least.
Also, Fug you Sean, he said FUG Shenmue Lie of 2017.
Look, I found an article from 2018.
Oh boy.
Sega exploring Shenmue 1 and 2 Nintendo Switch ports. From the localization director, Shenmue has been wholly loved by fans. We're grateful for all of them. Personally, I do think it would be nice if we could place Shenmue anywhere on the Switch. To that, the localization producer said, I don't know if we can realize it or not, but we were taking in opinions from fans. We do need some time to answer them, but I'm thinking we would like to consider it. I mean, come on. Like, there was obviously a plan to do it, but Sega's just fucking stupid sometimes.
Doomy says, Rich, start munching the edibles, bro. With sunglasses, smiley face.
I already did.
Enrique says, anyone play the Capcom Arcade Stadium? I know Misclick did, but a lot of the games have random frame rate dips that the other collections didn't. I played Strider.
I didn't notice that. I played a few games. I didn't notice that.
Played none of it.
There's some input lag when you play docked. I noticed that.
Oh, I see. I played it in handheld mode.
Yeah, I've only
What?
played a handheld
Docked?
as well.
I didn't experience any lag.
I played it handheld mode.
Could differ game to game.
Rascal
Maybe, yeah.
says, can any of you help Max get a new outro for his videos or help him remove the tune altogether?
Wow.
Google Fish says, if RE Engine is on Switch, why isn't RE7 and 2 and 3 remake on there?
Because the RE engine on Switch is a modified version of the
Yes.
RE engine.
Yep.
And believe it or not, Capcom did try to bring Resident Evil 7 to the Switch, and they simply did not get the results that they were looking for in terms of frame rate and resolution. And that's why the decision was made to release the cloud version. So Capcom has tried to bring these titles to the current Switch. It simply is not getting the outcome that they desire. And they said, we're not going to release it at this, at these parameters. So
Had a
they did the best thing they could. And unfortunately, the best was a cloud version.
Charlie says, glad to see Rich back on the Spawncast. Also, where's Max? Max and MVG had streams on Uplink, I think. So they were like running right up against the podcast here. And then Zion with $2. And Jeremiah says, always a good Spawncast when Rich from Review Tech is on. Hope to see him on here more often. Also, hope Sean got that lotion. Everyone's just concerned with you and your lotion, Sean.
Now that they've seen the ass, that's why they're concerned.
Amos here, no message. Mecca says Bravely Default and Bravely Second on Switch. A little collection, maybe. That'd be cool.
Nope.
Demi says Man,
nope. Who's gonna pay for that? Nope.
Man, the PS5 PC port runs horrible, and I have a 3070 P5S port. P5S, Persona 5S PC port.
I've been getting reports that it runs fine on the PC. So
Can they adjust their settings?
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm sure Digital Foundry do something on it.
yeah, maybe but from what I saw from some of my users, they said it runs smooth on the PC. I haven't played it myself. I've just played it on PS5 and Switch. So
Zion says thoughts on Coral Island. Rage 2 free on Epic Game. That's actually a good pickup on Epic Game Store. I did not play Coral Island at all, but
That game is good, but it has pacing issues. But that game is good.
Rage 2 though on Epic Games, that's a good pickup. I downloaded that right away. I liked Rage 2, I think, more than other people did. It was a fun little arcade.
Rage 2?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. It wasn't like I'm not saying it was like Game of the Year over the top. Right?
It felt weird because it was like, all right, Rage 1 was very bland and forgettable for the most part, and the second game was like, but now there's colors.
Yeah.
And then it was still very bland and forgettable, which is sad because that game had potential.
What's the name of that collector's head you got for that game, friend?
Ruckus, I think.
That's it.
Ruckus, maybe. I don't even know.
Charlie says Sean needed lotion, but Rich brought horses. Amos says Sean needs to lotion his weenus. Jeffrey says Jordan Brady RGT85.
Wrong.
Fernando says they should have made a Teen Titans Go game instead of DC Girls 1. Joey says since Nintendo is running out of Wii U games to port, our 3DS games next.
Itomo.
Huh?
Like it's remaking itself.
Charlie says, how's the GameCube collection coming along, John? Any other games that you're still planning to get? Saying hi to OJ. Also, was Miss Click's Tears real for Zelda? Yes, they were, because it was Skyward Sword.
It's your favorite Zelda game of all time.
Yes, if
I don't
it
know
was.
if people think I can't. I don't cry.
They want you to be
Like,
dead and
on
emotionless
command.
like the rest of us.
Like me.
Yeah, like listen.
Hey, that's the truth, though, right?
I walked through Tampa. Okay.
It's the truth, though, man. Like anytime you show a little bit of personality, you got a god complex. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Tampa Bay, when we won when Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl, there were people crying and stripping and running all over the place without their masks on, mind you. Okay, I never want to hear people like coming at me about being excited for a video game. Okay, someone was excited about sports ball and lost. You just saw Sean freaking lose his mind over freaking sports. Like, dude, everybody's excited about something different.
That's a game winner.
I
You know
cry
what I'm
and
saying?
strip every day.
Is there a difference? You're excited about it, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm not upset, and I know
a buzzer beater. You know, a buzzer beater. Yeah.
I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because that is in Florida. So it's kind of like, yeah, that's happening in Florida. No,
Sure.
that was Miss Click's direct right there. Okay, out of all the directs, that was like a direct geared towards Miss Click. So yes,
It's seltzer. It's water. Sorry.
Is it good though?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, everyone
Drink all of them.
Like, bro, that's all that sugar that you're drinking. I'm like, no, it's water with bubbles in it. It's fun. It's fun water.
Derek says, what would you guys think about a warrior style game set in the Star Wars universe? Seems to make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
absolutely.
That would be good.
Give me a Darth Maul lightsaber. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
You know what would be also cool? KOTOR.
That would be cool.
Oh.
I'll take it.
New KOTOR game?
Yeah, they're working on that now.
I already forgot the name of the one they announced.
Or is it a remake, John?
Direct.
Oh, that's a good question. I'll check him with Aspire. And Still Alive says thoughts on the Blizzard Arcade Collection. They showed the games in that.
Weird.
I mean, I'm not overly familiar with most of those games. So
Lost Vikings is like there's 3 different Vikings that you have that all have different
Then they're lost.
abilities. Blackthorn is actually pretty good. It's like it plays kind of like Out of This World and games like that, but it's a bit more action orientated. And then Rock and Roll Racing or whatever was like that's actually the arcade game from this collection. It actually has like a really good soundtrack with like bootleg versions of like Judas Priest songs and shit. That's a pretty fun game, but very random collection of games.
Well, they tease about in other games about how like Lost Vikings is a dead game, but they make constant jokes about it. So it's kind of like an in culture like Blizzard thing to bring out. So I guess it's kind of niche.
Still Alive says thoughts on the Blizzard Arcade Collection. Then Charlie says, Rich, did you try overclocking Castlevania 4 yet?
No, I know that they had the European version of that game where they fixed the slowdown issues, but I haven't tried it yet. Because the SNES version, that game had horrible slowdown issues. It's still an amazing game, but I heard they resolved that with the PAL version.
Rascal says they had me at Mario Golf, but lost me with no Metroid Prime 4. Hey, Metroid Prime 4
trilogy.
Maybe later this year. It's always next time, right?
It's always coming, guys.
You know what's going to happen when you stop making it a prediction in a Direct's prediction video. When you stop saying it's going to be in this next presentation, that's when it will arrive. Every time you predict it, you get it delayed another show.
I'm predicting it every time.
Well, then it's never going to release.
You can't stop me. You can't stop me. I'm doing it every time.
I will stop you. Nintendo's holding Samus hostage until you stop.
I know.
You are depriving everyone.
I know, it's me. I know that.
You are depriving everyone of Prime Trilogy right now.
I know.
So if anyone should hate Spawn for anything, hate him for this.
It is.
He won't let you play Metroid Prime 1.
Thanks, Spawn.
You bastard.
Everyone gets joking. I've seen the emails.
Yeah, it's all your fault. So everyone take back your super chats and send in a big one saying, fuck you.
You can't. YouTube, there is no refunds for super chat.
Yeah, YouTube.
Well,
thank God.
YouTube's like, refund? We took 30% of that. No, but you ain't good.
Then go to Twitter with hashtag SpawnWave must pay.
Spawnwave is canceled.
Wow.
Charlie says, how do you guys shorten Resident Evil? Resi or Ari? Ari.
Charlie.
Ari.
He asked me a question on my stream. He was like, "Hey, OJ, what do you think about the Resi games?" I was like, "What the hell is a Resi game?" And he's like, "Resident Evil." I'm like, "You call it Resi? That sounds corny and lame." Like, he's like, "That's how everybody calls it." I'm like, "Where are you?" He's like, "UK." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess." But no, I call it RE. Like, it's easier. Just call it RE.
Sounds like a name of like an R&B singer from like 1995.
Yeah, Resi with the hits.
Yeah.
Charlie says Rich had the most realistic reaction to the direct. And
yeah,
go ahead.
I mean, it was Skyward Sword. To me, look, you could love the game and think it's absolutely amazing. I never played it before, so I'm going to buy it from that perspective. Just the way they presented it, though, the way the presenter came on beforehand, it just felt like they were like, yeah, we have absolutely jack shit to show you with Breath of the Wild 2, but here's a game we're bringing back from an old system onto the Switch for you. Like, they didn't do it exactly like that, but yeah, I was genuinely actually excited for Mario Golf. Everyone thought I was kidding and trolling. I'm like, no, I'm not. I actually probably would have fun with that game, but the rest of because I'm not an RPG guy, I almost fell asleep during it.
So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna save Diablo 2 because we're going long right now. I'm gonna save Diablo 2 Remastered for next week because I was hoping MVG would stop by midway through. I don't think he's going to because I want to talk to him about Diablo 2 Remastered and Max. So I think I'm gonna save that one for next week and we'll go over Diablo 2 Remastered then because we'll have all of BlizzCon in the rearview mirror for that then.
Yeah, we need to talk about Overwatch as well.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say because there's a lot of. I might just do all of BlizzCon next weekend.
Wow, yeah.
Let's just do BlizzCon.
What if Pokemon next week?
Nate, what? I'm not trying to get in trouble here, okay?
They've already announced that they have a Pokemon week next week.
This
the Pokemon company said, "Hey,
we got Sean standing up sideways. We got
the Pokemon company already officially announced that they're talking Pokemon."
Oh my gosh!
Hey man, they didn't officially say what about that they're talking about.
No, I didn't say what, but Pokemon things are happening.
All right, so
you can't say that
next week.
They already said it.
Oh gosh,
you can't say these things, man.
The Pokemon company tweeted it themselves.
Oh
just be thankful. I told everyone that, like, no, if they donate to you, that I'm not going to take my shirt off. So
how did we get through all of last weekend's podcast? We didn't say anything about a direct coming up this past week, and we can't get through this without talking about a Pokemon direct.
I didn't say the word direct. I said Pokemon.
You just did. Oh, you just did. You just said it.
We did so good last weekend, and like this week.
They already confirmed it. The Pokemon
What, a
company
Pokemon Direct?
We have a lot to talk about with Pokemon over the next couple of weeks.
That's very ominous, though. You're really dating it. Going from ominous and
Tweeted it themselves.
Oh no.
Wait, is our stream gonna conflict with the Post Malone Pokemon concert?
Fuck him.
Yo, you need to chill.
Never.
And those chips that he was advertising, they're disgusting.
What
All
chip
right.
does he
Doritos?
advertise? Oh, Dorito.
Those
What's wrong with you? Got something against
What
Doritos? Now?
flavor?
No, that flavor is like lemon, or it's like
Oh, is it those
forgot
like
what flavor it was.
the wrap up ones?
Yeah, or
The
whatever.
fake Takis.
I just know
the
that
fake
he
Taki.
was advertising one, and I tried it, and it wasn't very good.
what we're gonna do is we still have super chats here. I'm gonna go through the questions. We're gonna do outros during that, okay? And I'll check Streamlabs. I'll remove Diablo from the title, and we'll just do BlizzCon next week, so we can talk about Overwatch and all that stuff. Because it went a little longer than I thought it would. Although I probably should have accounted for that. I should have probably made it Nintendo Direct because I knew Skyward Sword and all that was gonna be a whole thing.
Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, let me go around here while we're going through the super chats here. Because I see Jeff Grubb in here too, so we have to go over that one too. Rich, thank you for joining us tonight. Where can all the good people find you? I got your channel down in the description too for everyone who's curious.
You could find me over exactly how it sounds. Review Tech USA, all one word.
Very good, very good. Check them out. You got some cool stuff coming up.
Yes, I do. I'm going to be playing the PlayStation 5 on a CRT.
Oh,
So that should be interesting. I'm going to be filming that this week, and I'll be shirtless on a live stream many times this week.
there we go. All right. Nintendo Prime says, glad I could make it for this one. We have Nintendo Prime here in the chat. Kate says, have any of you thought of working for G4 with their hashtag G4 needs talent? All of you would be awesome. Sent Sean a message on Facebook. Sean, I think you can still get on there. Everyone gets
But
one,
see, I would
right?
probably have to, like,
You
move
had
that-
one stream slip up, right? That's just
I'd have to move to LA and shit, probably. I'm not about
Yeah.
that. Fuck LA.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I'm
think
good.
that'll
Hey,
happen.
Kate says also shout out to Review Tech. Love you on here.
Thank you.
VCIPZ says Neon White and Triangle Strategy Hype. David says I predict that Skyward Sword will be removed from the Wii U eShop where it is cheap. They did that with Donkey Kong, then it came back, so I think that was just a mistake, or they were relisting it. But I actually think it'll stay up there because no one has a Wii U right now. Shinru says, evening, everyone. If we see a Mario football game by Next Level Games, who is everyone picking for each position? I don't know football terms.
I know there's a quarterback
I'm gonna have Waluigi as the quarterback.
and a wide receiver.
He's
kinda
tall.
lanky.
He's a wild
He's tall,
card.
yeah.
He can
Yeah.
see over the offensive.
You just see
line.
Wario's
Yeah.
the running back. You just give Wario the ball.
Wario's
He's
the
a
running
charge
back.
forward. Yeah, absolutely.
See, I was thinking between Wario or maybe Toad. Toad is small and fast.
Well, hold
No,
on.
Toad's the referee.
Wouldn't you put
100%.
Waluigi as like a receiver though?
No,
Yeah, I would say
He
Waluigi.
could be a wide
That's all
receiver.
right.
He's tall.
I would go. No, see, I would go with like Daisy and Peach as my wides because they're fast and they're
Peach isn't fast.
quick.
Peach isn't
Peach
fast.
can
floats.
float.
Luigi's
Floats.
fast.
Yeah.
Would you put Bowser
I
as
do
a
think you
tight
put.
end?
I do think you put Waluigi in though. If you're on like the 2 or something, fade to the end zone, you get him just jump
Dude,
up in the air.
You put Luigi's jumping through. Waluigi, you put him on defense. He's dirty. Put him at defensive end. Let him get around the corner,
I
man.
see.
Get
I
around
kind of
the
see
edge.
him as like a ball hawk in the backfield. You know, those Waluigi's big
See him
lanky
as
dude.
a dirty Ndamukong Suh type of D tackle or DN. You know, just put Waluigi in there and let him put some work.
I see Bowser as a DN, man.
Bowser at D tackle.
Tight end.
Bowser,
Yeah,
Bowser's a tight
Bowser's not
end.
moving well, man. He's looking to just push someone over immediately.
You put Bowser at defense, like nose tackle, dude, like Vince Wilfork back in the day.
I like the idea of a Mario football game. That'd be interesting.
It's Wilfork.
Vince Wilfork, he was the whole D line.
I remember him. Yeah.
They ran a 1-10.
He caused the ball fumble. He pushed the dude right into friggin'
Wilfork was the man, one D lineman. It was just his fat butt on the line. Everybody else just played coverage.
Mega 64 says, "Oh, Richie's in the podcast. Let's get into it then." Jeffrey Tucker says, regarding Skyward Sword being $6, I'm a disabled gamer who couldn't play a lot of Wii and Wii U games because of motion controls. They fixed that for the Switch, so it's worth $6 to me.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
fuckers. Now you all feel bad, don't you?
Trust me, they don't.
Jeffrey Grubb says, I pissed myself, RGT.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's an amazing ass spell.
Debbie says, "Is Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 for Switch coming to West?"
Nope.
I mean,
It's been 4 years. You can give up on that.
yeah, they use that cartridge as like 32 gigabytes. So, Alt says, "Hey guys, I just wanted to say everyone watching should play Monster Hunter Rise when it comes out."
Yes.
I'm okay.
Will be.
Liam says, "Does Strat beat Gears of War 5 and Breath of the Wild 2 for God of War 5? Okay, Breath of the Wild 2 for Game of the Year, Nate? The strategy."
Well, it's the only game I've played so far. So right now, yes, it's beating them.
There you go. Brendan says, "Super Metroid or Castlevania Symphony of the Night? There can only be one."
Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night.
Wow.
That's rough. Without Metroid, there's no Symphony of the Night.
That is true.
But you see, with Symphony of the Night is a fantastic Castlevania games. But are we saying like if you choose Symphony?
But my beef,
as they stand, just as they stand. Which one?
my beef with Symphony of the Night is that
As they
every
stand with no
Castlevania game
repercussions.
after that, became. It's almost like what people say Final Fantasy VII did to the Final Fantasy series. You know, it's like every game after that, if it was 2D, it had to be a Metroidvania game, unless they were like rebirthing like a Game Boy game for the Wii. If you remember that game from the eShop.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
That's a very tough pick because they're both like genre defining type of games, like within their own, space. But it's tough, man. I don't know if I can pick. Maybe Super Metroid just because it came first, but Symphony of the Night is God tier.
It's very good. Yeah.
Neither.
Chris says, "I really hope Square gets more sales on Triangle Strategy than Final Fantasy VII Remake." I don't think it will, but I just want them to eat their BS. Has to be action RPG junk burrito. Now, action RPG works a lot better now than like traditional RPG for the most part. So
that's ARPGs.
That's just the way it is because gaming's more mainstream now than it was back then. So they got to kind of adapt things. And
you shouldn't compare the two because one of them is built for like a worldwide large audience, and the other is built for just a certain niche of people, like between 1 to 2 million people that are going to buy it, and they can profit off of it, right? It's not something that's like they're just trying to supply to a certain type of person out there. So I don't think really you need to really compare or worry about one over the other or say that needs to do better. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
they had to cast that wide net with Final Fantasy VII Remake because that budget exploded. So
exactly.
Laserdisc Man says, "A build of Dinosaur Planet 64 was just leaked. I downloaded it and I'm ready to play it." Captain Bob Dude says, "Competitive Splatoon player here. I got the game out of boredom. After giving it a shot, I couldn't stop playing it. Would say try it out."
I agree.
Charlie says, "If you could have any movie turn into a good game, what would you guys choose?" Mine would be Training Day, an anime known as Angel Cop.
Imagine being Denzel in Training Day. That'd be freaking crazy. That'd be pretty cool. But like Matrix, if the Matrix, like those were actually good games, I would love to see.
Second one was good. Path of Neo,
bro. Come on.
I would love a true and like a really good Jurassic Park survival game.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Like you are on the island by yourself. There's even a multiplayer aspect. You can play with people online.
Then I'm not on the island by myself if there's.
But you're still out for yourself at the end of the day. Like, okay, I don't care if he gets eaten by the T-Rex as long as I don't get eaten by the
Dino
T-Rex.
Crisis. That could be a thing that maybe comes back one of these days. So maybe Dino Crisis.
John Wick.
There is a game.
No, not that type of
solid
game.
tactics game.
A good game.
The perfect genre for that game to be. I'm glad they went that way.
Yeah, actually a good direction, making like Max Payne.
That is weird how they looked at John Wick and they were like, "How do we make this into a strategy game?" Obviously,
how do we make this the opposite of how you feel to be John Wick?
Yeah, let's make the most non-John Wick game possible.
We need another Max Payne, actually, now that you're mentioning it.
Yes.
It's been actually, it came out in 2011, right?
I said.
So this is 10 years, right? 10 years.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
Come on, Rockstar. Well, they need to do a lot, actually.
Yeah, they're a little busy with GTA on.
Max Payne 3 sell for them?
What's that, Rich?
How did Max Payne 3 sell for them? I don't know.
I mean, nowhere near what GTA 5 does.
Of course.
GTA 5 sold 20 million units this past week or past year. And it came out in 2013, so yeah, it's doing pretty well. It's still doing well.
It's all right.
Rockstar. I wouldn't make any games anymore. I'd be like, you guys keep buying GTA 5.
Do they make anything else but Red Dead and GTA?
I used to. It was a very exciting time back in the PS2 era. I promise.
Remember that game, State of Emergency, for the PlayStation 2? That was ridiculous.
Yeah, we used to get so many games back then. I feel like we got way more games, even though we have like indie games and stuff coming out much more now. I don't know. I just feel like back then we were like every week we were talking about like 3 or 4 games coming out. I don't know. They're like the PS2 era.
6 gens.
Yeah, PS2 era was. I mean, that's why it's the golden era of gaming.
Everything's so skewed. You know, it's like back then. I feel like there was like indie games, then you're like AA games and your AAA games, and now it's either it's an indie or it's a AAA, and that's all the studios are focusing on. There's very few mid-tier games, and when there are
rare games.
You know what I have hope for, Jordan? I really have hope for Biomutant because of that, because I feel like that would fit into the AA genre back then. I have a lot of hope for that.
I can't believe that game's still not out.
Apparently, they internally delayed it because they were taking time to refine it a bit more. So
I feel like it's been delayed for literal years.
I think it's like 20 or so odd people working on it. It's not a lot of people.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, hey, good on them for working on it still. But I keep seeing that up on Amazon, like get the collector's edition. I'm like, of what? What is this game? It's been on pre-order for years.
JR says, Rich, does this work here or it's fine if not? We already went through Sean once. I think he's talking about your shirt.
No, my shirt's staying on here. Don't know for anybody.
Michael D says, give me an option to shut fee off and I'll pay $200. Joven says, so much for Sean screwing up this week.
It happens.
Bummer. Says Red Steel 2 over Skyward Sword. Bring back Red Steel 2. Derek says, Rich, have my baby. Bummer Rob says, who will be the final Smash Bros fighter? There will be a lot of build up to it, and it'll be Sakurai himself.
Yep, that's the thing. That's the expectation.
That'd be so
who can complain if it's Sakurai himself getting in?
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone's like, yep, we own that.
Yeah.
It's Master Chief, man. I'm telling you, it's Master Chief.
You think it's Chief? You don't think it's Sora? You don't think they worked that deal out? Sakurai just kicks the door to Disney?
I still think Crash has a solid chance still.
I think Crash. Yeah, I think this next character is going to be third party, and then
You know what would be the biggest swerve ever is if they got to that last fighter, and everyone thought that was it, and then they had the like one
Season
more
Pass
fighter
3.
after that, and it was Sakurai himself. That would be cool. Just something
They
like
should
that.
try to get it up to 100. Why not? Let's just round up at 100.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like they might pull that fast one and do one more fighter that's not advertised.
Well, I think they might even do a Season Pass 3.
Oh my!
I hope not.
Can we not? We're gonna get so many people's expectations high.
They're gonna keep this game going. Why not?
I have never had so much sympathy for someone as much as I have for Sakurai-san.
Sakurai needs.
He should go do something else. Like,
All right,
he could do this.
I love all of you.
All right, Sean.
Find me on RGT 85. Right. I'm going to
find Sean on RGT 85. Okay.
Love you.
All right. Let's be over. Hey, Rich is someone hasn't played a Resident Evil game. Which one should I start with? What you said, Resident Evil 2. Mufasa.
Yeah,
said,
that was bait.
Tedder just sold us a Game Boy game for $6. Y'all surprised. Link's Awakening. Stinkfist says PewDiePie Coco YouTube needs to lighten up.
He has video taken down. That's what that means.
Yeah. The Bad Gamer says, have you guys tried buying Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Nope.
Thanks, Smash Bros. Ultimate. You made the game non-existent. Oh, do people buy it up a lot recently or something?
It's been hard to find / out of print for a while now. Like, so yeah.
Mr. Awesome says, why do horses run on courses?
Yeah.
Hayden says,
sources
for the horse man. Andrew says, RGT use PG language, so Arlo comes on the podcast. Well, now I gotta worry about language now. Sean's gotta worry about just standing up.
Just casual nudity.
Singing with your wallet is better than Twitter. Okay, that's from Joe. Alt says Skyward Sword HD is going to sell like hotcakes. Also treat yourselves to Monster Rise when it comes out. People, Miss Click, where can people find you?
Thanks for having me. You can find me here on YouTube as Miss Click Gaming. Right now I have videos at the moment coming out on Mondays. We'll be working on another day too. And then you can find me every day, for the most part, on Twitch at twitch.tv/missclick_live. And yeah, we'll talk about a whole bunch of different stuff. We're gonna be playing some new games, and then probably obviously be talking about a lot of things we're looking forward to. So,
Getting close to 100,000.
Yeah, actually, I think we're just just
Pretty
over 2,500 away from 100K. So
Well, people should go check out your channel and help you get there.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Lilo says, "Oh, so any bigger cards than 1 terabyte for Switch? Mine is full. Unfortunately, not yet. No." Jared, if Skyward Sword is 60, what will Wind Waker be? Wind Waker, I think, will be part of a collection for 60. Di Matthew says, "You going to talk about PS5 Die Shot?" Probably not tonight. Derek says, "I'm going to buy 3 copies of Skyward Sword for 60 apiece and still complain about it." Derek then says, "Rich looking like a snack."
I'm always looking like a snack.
Ty Matthews then says, "You see the PS5 Die Shot?" I did. I covered it in a news video. Cliff says, "RGT, don't worry. Spurs will come back and stomp the Knicks. What do you want to see in a new Sonic game?" Thanks, Sean. John says, "I, for one, am very excited for Diablo 2. Brendan says, "Oh, to hell with people harassing Miss Click."
Yeah,
Charlie.
it's just people.
Charlie then says, "Sorry to hear about the threats you've received online. Click, no one deserves it. Rich has received a lot, and Boogie2988 also had someone at his door."
Yeah, fuck them.
Cage
Yeah.
says, "I got the platinum trophy in Bloodborne. It took me 420 hours. There you go. Demon says, "Does Skyward Sword come with the orchestra CD?" I do not believe so. No, I don't think they're doing anything like that. Wolfstar says, "You guys got to watch King K's video on Galaxy 2. He trashed the game in his review." Then we have Ivan Adams here. Then Khalil says, "Do you think Breath of the Wild 2 is coming in 2021? I'm hopeful, but there's a chance it ends up being beginning of 2022. Ross says, "I think there will be 2 Zelda collections in 64 and GameCube, each with 2 games, and will include the remakes versions of each game, especially if Grezzo is involved as rumored." There's a lot of Zelda for the year. Jedi says, "The question over Nintendo game pricing ended when a Wii U port became the highest selling game on the Switch." Yeah. And Armory of God. Then Lycon says, "I'm really looking forward to seeing how you edit the clip where RGT85 stood up to get us stakes for the Clips channel. Too funny to not include."
There's be a little mosaic in there, yeah. That'd be good.
It says, "Did Nintendo patent control? What is this going to be called? Is the video just going to be called RGT Stands Up?"
Probably.
It's just hashtag YouTube Shorts, and you're good to go. It'll
Oh
trend.
no.
That's good. That's good.
Hashtag fantastic ass.
It says, "Did Nintendo patent a controller for Switch similar to Wii U's, or am I remembering something wrong?" That might have been an older patent that they never went through with. Jonathan says, "Hey, Rich, we need a late night stream after this."
No.
Eric says, "Triangle Strategy is very neat. Day one, buy for me. Hope it gets a collector's edition." Not a Bootlegger says, "We know that Nintendo told all developers to get their 4K upgrades ready ASP. That's enough for me to stay excited. Remasters on some games, not just 4K res." Panda Man says, "Hey, how do you guys see the rise of gacha games affecting the future of games as a whole?" I mean, gacha games have been popular for a while now, and they tried the loot box thing in games, and actually EA, interestingly enough, has backed away from it. So console, go ahead.
I think these gacha games have like found a way to be here without being super intrusive to everything now and having their own. It's weird. Like they're there, but they're not as everywhere as we feared they were going to be, which is nice. And I hope it doesn't get to that point.
Matthew says, "Best games for the Quest 2 VR." I do not have a Quest 2, unfortunately. I wish I could tell you.
Super hot VR.
There we go.
That's one of my
Or
favorite
Beat
VR games.
Saber. Beat Saber.
Beat Saber is good.
They're coming out with the whole the Quest 2 is awesome, man.
Console Gamer says, "I feel like if you leave a direct with 2 or 3 games that you personally think looks good, then it was a good direct. I didn't want every game to hook me because I have a big enough of a backlog." Jordan, where can the people find you?
Around. I'll be here next week. I'll talk about Pokemon. If you want to hear me talk about Pokemon more, you could follow me on my Instagram, Fringe Collects.
All right. Very good. Very good. Console Gamer says, "I left the direct happy about Mario Golf, Ninja Gaiden Trilogy, and the debt I got from pre-ordering the Monster Hunter Switch Pro Controller and the Zelda Joy-Cons." Edgar says, "I believe later this year when Nintendo give us that Breath of the Wild 2 update, they will announce the Switch Pro, and I wouldn't go as far as be surprised that they both will come out on the same day with a 2022 release date." Ross says, "Sega and Atlas was noticeable absent during the direct. What do you think what plan, if any, do they have for this year? Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, Sonic, Shenmue, other." Apparently Sonic might even be next year. So we'll see. I'd like to think that Persona might pop up sometime this year, but Console Gamer RGT, yeah, I might get Balan Wonderland. Also RGT, no, I am not getting Fall Guys on Switch. JT says, "I'm late. Just want to support Rich's apparent Dr. Pepper addiction as a fellow addict."
I say Dr. Goddamn Pepper. You think man, I would be 700 pounds if I was. It's seltzer. It has bubbles in it. It's just water with bubbles. It's goddamn fun.
OJ, where can the people find you?
Yeah, find me right here on YouTube Play Essence. I stream daily and do Nintendo JRPG content, all that good stuff. So if you're interested in that, I've got some pretty cool videos coming up this week that I'm excited for. Talking about some more Legend of Zelda, talk about some Monolith Soft in 2021, talking about some other stuff as well. We talk Resident Evil on the channel as well. So thank you guys so much for coming through. And like I said, there's like hella people from like the Spawncast and hella people from your channel too, Rich. Your channel, everybody's channels, like just a lot of people coming over saying, "Hey man, like I watched this person." So thank you guys for all being awesome. You know, yeah, I'm doing a PlayStation 5 giveaway and a $1,000 in gaming credit. So subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing that once we should hit 100K.
100,000, right? Yeah,
yeah. We'll get there. Either it'll be at the end of the year, or it'll be like early next year. So whenever we hit it, we'll have that. But we'll have other giveaways in between then too. So
awesome.
We've been doing that. So yeah, we're giving away a copy of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I completed like a Nintendo challenge, so look out for that on Twitter. I'll have a giveaway for that as well. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and I think Final Fantasy VII, like the Switch PC port of that or whatever. So yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And John, thank you for having me on once again. Sorry to be all long-winded, but thank you. A lot of people come over from the Spawncast, so thank you, man.
Thanks for coming by, OJ. Everyone was asking if you were going to be here.
That's the meme, dude. Like I said, I've got about maybe $40 off of that so far from people donating to. Yeah,
there you go.
It's become a little side hustle, but let's just see. Let's keep it going. You know, let's keep it going.
Joe says, "Misclick. Sorry that happened to you. You're okay."
I didn't bring it up for you guys to like be a pity party. I'm just like, I don't bring it up for a reason until like I feel like it really hits a boiling point. But I appreciate you guys for understanding and being kind about it.
Demi says, "You think a Doom reboot style Contra game could work?" Style Contra game? Yeah, I mean, I think Konami just needs to stay away from their own IPs.
Oof.
I wouldn't trust Konami.
Konami needs to get bought by somebody and then just like have someone handle their IPs the way they should be handled.
But the funny thing is that they'll never do that because they use their stupid IPs for their pachinko machines and all that. And if you get bought or whatever, then they lose that revenue source for what they're doing. So
they just need to license out their IPs like they already are with Silent Hill.
Yeah. License it. Yeah.
We'll hear in the summer for that.
From Software, Castlevania. Enough said. That's it.
Ooh, I would like. That's a damn good idea, Rich. Holy smokes, man.
Rex says, Ease 9 physical is already harder to find, and the Ease 8 Switch physical won't release until months later. June safe bet is that Ease 9 Switch physical will be rare. I would actually pre-order that one. That was a game I would pre-order physically if you can. Ross says, as Canadian living in the US, I have non-game question to ask. Any of you NHL or hockey fans? If so, isn't McDavid the greatest thing ever? I watch the Flyers generally, and they're playing the Phantoms, so like they're like the AAA team they're playing right now because half the team has COVID, so. Still alive.
That's good.
Yeah. Still alive says, we giving up on Rare Replay coming to Switch. Yeah, I gave up on that. Kelvin says Capcom should make a versus series game against themselves. They have Street Fighter, Mega Man games, Darkstalkers, RE, Power Stone, Rival Schools, DMC, etc. Amos says that crack is worth another donation. Okay. Evan, what about you? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Kimmerix Project. I usually post up things I'm working on there, whether or not I'm going live on Twitch, which we'll probably be doing still this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you can just follow me there.
Merch.
Oh yeah, the links are in the description below for the shirts. Finally got the all over print shirts.
Good job on that. That came out really nice.
Nick.
That came out really nice.
They were fun. They were a struggle, but they were fun.
And Nate, where can the good people find you? And then I'm gonna finish up. There's like 2 or 3 stream lab things here. Good.
I was very distracted by MVG punching GameCubes, but what?
Oh, hold on. Actually, I'll do this and then I'll go to you. Panda Man says, as a person with a Triforce tattoo in my hand, I agree with everyone. Unfortunately, I will buy any Zelda Delish I can get my hands on. Devin says, hey, Click, I really enjoy your streams. Thank you for doing all you do. And can you about out my friend's cream of the crop? Charlie says, John, check out the second photo on Google search. Jam
of what?
I don't know. I'm worried about that. Jam Wilson says, hey, Spawn, my friend looks like you. All right. Nate, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. Have a podcast up there talking about the Nintendo Direct, what the Direct means for Breath of the Wild 2, and its likely delay into 2022, and how the Direct itself hinted at the Switch Pro. We will have an episode in the coming week. MVG and I will talk about something. Or you can find me on Twitter at Nate the Hate, followed by the number 2, or on Twitter at DirectFeedGames. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Very good. Craig says, had my 200 episode special edition shirt delivered yesterday. I love the design artwork. Great stuff, Evan.
Yeah, some people are getting them. I'm seeing them on Twitter. It's pretty cool.
That's That's really fast.
Yeah, mine shipped out the other day. Should be here Monday, I think.
The shirt seemed quick. My hoodie that I ordered long before it even listed should be showing soon.
Nice.
Liam says, I've said it before and I'll say it again, but I really do think Splatoon will become Nintendo's Call of Duty. Way too much money not to do more frequent releases. In fact, bold prediction, but I think we will see Splatoon 4 on the Switch as well, cross-gen. Wow. I'll just click. Be happy about that too.
I wouldn't say that soon. If they're going to put a lot of work into this, I'd expect another season of DLC and everything. And quite honestly, like, I think games hit their peak and their stride around the 4 or 5 year mark in between.
I mean, do you think it'd be better, Click, to have like longer periods between Splatoon, one, so they can develop more, and two, so you don't split the player base
definitely
all the time, you know? Absolutely. I feel like that'd be better. Yeah. And Zib says, what are the odds the Oracle games are dropping with Game Boy servers? Ocarina of Time is dropping on the N64 servers tomorrow to kick off this Zeldaversary. Well, probably none.
Wow.
Well, yeah, tomorrow's Zelda's anniversary.
It is. Happy birthday.
Yeah, Wolverale says, hey, Spawn, not sure if they would work as a guest when talking about modern video game stuff, but do you think you could get Lazy Game Reviews on as a guest on the Spawncast? You're always looking at that. Rand M here in the Streamlabs. Jeff Burns says, any info on Esports Boxing Club anyone know about? Also just started Hyrule Warriors site. Is very fun. Zippo says, hey, apologies if it's already been asked, but did anyone here see the Mortal Kombat movie trailer? I thought it looked surprisingly solid. It does look very good.
That was that trailer had no right looking that good.
Xavier says, last week I asked out of my backlog which games I should play. People said Chrono Trigger, Ori, and the Blind Forest, so I started playing Final Fantasy VI. The game is super good so far. The soundtrack is incredible. My first SNES era game. That's a good one to start with. George says, oh gosh, I was hoping this would be able to finish up here. Anyway, Ambassadors would defend Skyward Sword's pricing right after defending 3 All-Stars. Being limited to COVID, it's not likely, not even a port, but just emulates the same emulator as Galaxy on Switch. The thing with Galaxy, though, is they actually did change some of it up. And I wish MVG was here to mention this, because he did talk about that they did change up some of Galaxy. It wasn't completely emulated. Taker says, the Switch is entering its 5th year in about 2 weeks. I am starting to think the rumored Switch Pro will actually be the 2nd-gen Switch and launch with Breath of the Wild 2 early 2022. The sequel will be cross-gen like the first. New model plays all Switch games as 2. And I think that is everything. All right. I think we're good. Let's check here. Charlie says, Spawn Wave John on Google search, Muscular Spawn. Baird Banana says, hey guys, love the Spawncast. Hope you all have a good weekend. I'll never forget watching Newswave at 2 a.m. at the bar. Okay.
The best time to watch it, actually.
Yes. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. I got everyone here with outros. We're good on that. And MVG and Max, I'm sure, are back next week. And apparently we're talking about Pokemon. So thanks for joining us for episode 203, and we'll see you guys next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time.